And we're pretending like the Donner Party are tight.
They
hit one winter.
Yeah, really. And they ate each other. I mean,
well, that's where eating butt came from. It's a California thing.
Eat the booty. Did they say that when they?
It was actually summer. Like, fuck it, let's just eat ass. Yeah. They were just pervs. They actually didn't die. They're like, well, let's spruce up the story and make it a tragedy.
Yeah.
God damn it. And California pornography was born. Yeah.
Get ready to be hella hyped.
Renzo's Instagram, but people call me Renzo, but Loren Butchart's my name.
Okay. Well, it's just what you want to be on the podcast.
Batman. Calvin.
Loren it is then.
Loren, L-O-R-E-N.
Is your full name Lorenzo? Is that what it is?
Nope.
Oh.
No. My mom wanted to name me Kevin. My dad's like, nah, let's fuck his life up.
That's why I thought you had Renzo as your name. I was like, oh, Loren Renzo.
My best friend, Jamie Rush, always called me Renzo.
Uh-huh.
And I worked for a guy in San Francisco. He's like, you need a tat name, bro. And I was like, what? He's like, you need a tat name. Everyone thinks you're a girl. And I was like, I don't care. It probably helps me.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's do this shit. Ready?
All right. Yep, ready.
Are we good on levels? Yeah, we look good.
I think so.
Here.
Am I not close enough? Do I need to get closer?
No,
you sound good.
You're plenty loud.
I'm a spit talker, so you guys are going to have to like burn this thing.
That's the guest mic, so we're good.
Perfect.
Yeah. You're just, soaking up everybody else's spit right now at the moment. So.
Everyone's an Eskimo brother. Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
So are we not recording right now?
We are, but he has to edit all this out.
You guys edit?
He does.
Why?
Mostly. Sometimes I have to do it.
Dude, just go nuts out, man.
Well, maybe I'll just leave it in for you, for you this time.
Nuts are for sure out. But
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the intro.
I'm going to turn this into a Brave Castle episode where it's just nonsense and bad jokes.
Hey, I love that kind of shit.
And burping.
That's what I want waiting to dry to become.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how you make the time for editing. I can't sit through all that.
I don't get what's so hard about it. Like, it's pretty easy. Just chop off the beginning and the end and a little bit of pee break thing.
Oh, there you go. So you're not going through the whole thing.
No.
Yeah. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do that much.
Y'all getting paid for this shit yet?
No.
Not yet.
All you have to do is ask. Honestly.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about it, but yeah, I'll talk to you about it later.
Cool.
All right. Well, a fucking intro this time. This is waiting
this
to dry.
episode's brought to you by Dick Blick.
Yeah.
Get that
Use
real
coupon
money.
code waiting to dry.
Yeah. It won't save you anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Sergio Lopez.
I'm Josh Lawyer.
And we have Loren Butchart on the podcast this time. I think you are our first fellow podcaster to be on our show, actually.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably end up just talking about podcasting. What a nightmare it is.
I don't mind it.
It's fun. Once you get into it and you're like cruising with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop stumping on your intro, dude. I'm just going to shut up.
The grunt work is the shitty part. Like the job of doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
posting,
wrangling
scheduling
guests.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Wrangling guests, editing.
This part's why we do it, though.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Talking shit.
It is fun to do this part.
Hell
yeah.
But yeah, you do Brave Castle podcast. We've been a guest on that.
Yep.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Been on a hiatus.
I know. You've been kind of...
I have 2 in the barrel again that aren't posted. I recorded last night.
Nice.
Not on the internet.
Well, it's whatever. But yeah, you're also a fellow Santa Rosian.
Yes, sir.
We're like all the different versions of Santa Rosians. It's like, I feel like you're a Santa Rosian who knows people. Sergio is one who's lived here his whole life and doesn't know anyone. And I'm a newbie as far as...
I thought you were from here.
No.
Where are you from?
I bounced around a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Poor folk bounce around. You know that
Military kid?
No. drug addict parent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Bounce around. But yeah, good times.
Santa Rosa's not bad.
No, I don't mind it.
It's too expensive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
I mean, I live in a warehouse. Like, what can I say?
That's how ballers live, right? You just call it a loft, and then it's like fancy.
Yeah, when I was 15, that was the dream, and now I'm like, this shit's whack.
Yeah, for sure. You just need a slide, a couple pinball machines. It's like the movie Big,
Totally.
Where you need a trampoline in the middle of your living room or something like that.
I was going to move a pool table into that place when I first got it, and then I was like, wait a minute. That means a bunch of annoying losers are going to want to hang out here all the time. Like, they'll never leave.
Yeah.
So I was like, ex-nay the pool table idea. Because when people find out you have one, they just want to hang out in your house all the time. And pool people are pool people.
Yeah, I'm not a pool person.
They like get drunk, do drugs, and gamble.
Oh.
They're like me. It's like hanging out with degenerates all the time.
For sure.
Don't get a mini ramp either. It's the same thing.
Oh, God.
I had both at the same time in a house one time. It was just terrible.
A mini ramp and a pool table?
Yeah. I thought it would be the fucking dream come true.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have friends just showing up out of the blue and they're like, where you at? And you're like, living my life?
Like, trying to take a shower?
Like, I'm in front of your house. And like, okay, like
let me guess. You're here to hang out with me, and do my dishes.
I used to have friends that would pop in like that, and they used to drive me nuts. Like, I guess I'll stop doing whatever I'm doing to like keep you company or whatever.
That's how I feel about scheduling podcasts. I'm like, why did I agree to? Come on this, first of all. Do one last night. Do one last week.
Too late. Too late. You can't leave now.
Yeah. Did you lock that door?
I did. It's like one of those like movie scenes where like I hit a button and like the door locks, and you're like, let me out. Yeah. So
here we are.
We're going to kill and eat you after this.
Sick. Exactly. I'm debt free then, dude. Consume my debt.
Yeah. It sucks because your artwork wouldn't be able, like when artists die, they grow in value, or what, like their artwork grows in value.
Oh yeah.
Well, your artwork's kind of like stuck to people. They can't.
No, I got a cardboard box full of fucking red colored pencil drawings.
Oh, that's true.
You can have fun selling those. They're all folded up, coffee stains, beer spit all over them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't make much fine artwork anymore.
That's good.
I mean, I'll paint like tattoo stuff.
Yeah, you're the first person on our podcast who doodles on people for a living.
I'm the first tattooer?
Yeah.
Right on. Cool. I'm honored. That's awesome. Yeah. You probably should have gone with somebody else.
I mean, me and Sergio, I mean, for me personally, like I know very few, like I kind of have known Henry Lewis a little bit. Like,
right on.
Like talked to him a little bit and, that kind of like friendly acquaintance type thing, but
cool guy to know.
Yeah,
he's super talented.
Only one I could think of that has a tattoo background, but he doesn't even live in the Bay Area anymore.
He's up here right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we saw him for a split second at the tattoo convention. He literally ran by the booth we were hanging out, like sprinted by, and that was the only moment we saw him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But he was guest spotting at Seventh Son for a little bit while he was in town. I guess he's like doing something in LA. I don't know much about what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did see him.
Well, I guess we should stop this podcast. I got to make a phone call and see if I can.
Henry.
I didn't even have his number.
Get this fake ass loser off my podcast and get up here.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Once we kill you, you can't sell tattoo work. It kind of
cool.
Dies.
I think reselling dead people's artwork's weird. Like, I love that Jackson Pollock's fucking paintings are falling apart and they're scrambling to fucking save some of them. Yeah, fuck you. It's splatter paint with fucking unarchival house paint.
How dare you?
Whatever. I mean, he did it first back in the 50s. Cool. It's been done. But like, people like the Banksy that shredded itself and everyone fucking pooped their pants about it. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's street art in a fucking was it the Smithsonian auction? Well, I don't
Which
know.
one is that?
I'm talking out of
the Banksy one?
Or yeah, that shredded itself.
Yeah,
did you guys see that?
Okay. Yeah.
Some people got so bent about it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. People either got juiced about it or bent about it, and I was like, I don't really care.
I thought it was cool that shitty piece of art destroyed itself.
Yeah. It wasn't anything magical.
Yeah, it's a stencil of a girl holding a balloon in the shape of a fucking heart. Wow.
Yeah.
I think
also, how dare you?
Again, I'm just gonna shit on everybody.
Yeah. It feels good to not be the shitter this time.
Cool.
Usually, I feel like I'm the one like, fuck Jackson Pollock.
Dude, I've been talking shit recently. I was talking shit about Ramen Guy Jin last night. Like,
who's that?
Some
the ramen spot.
Yeah, the ramen spot. I was like,
really?
fuck that place.
That's my shit.
And I was like, fuck it, dude. The place sucks.
Yeah. Talk about Pollock and Banksy all you want, but that's my ramen spot.
I'll take you to get some real ramen, dude.
Where? Japan?
No, Eugene, Oregon, bro. It's a lot less of a drive.
I guess.
Toshi's in fucking Eugene, Oregon blows fucking Ramen Guy Jin out of the water.
It's Oregon. They cheat. They have like good ingredients.
It's just surrounded by crap food, so it just makes I don't know. I'm bailing this joke. It's going nowhere. I drove that one.
I didn't know which one you were talking about.
Everything. Fuck everything.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
I'm the most mediocre artist with the biggest opinion about art.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking pretty much hate everything I see. I'm like, man, next, don't care. Like, I like little kid drawings that people get tattooed on their body that's gonna die in the ground. Like, that's what I'm into.
Yeah, I know. There are like a couple tattoo artists I follow, and it's all kind of that, like, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of reminds me of like Bay Area graffiti in a weird way, because it's like that group of like graffiti artists like Orphan and those guys, they kind of like embrace like the sloppy funk.
Sure.
You know, and that's kind of what I like in tattooing, is like this like weird.
I wonder who you're talking about. You're not talking about Mark Cross, are you?
I don't know. I can't remember names.
Because he was buddies with, from what I understand, Orphan and was like hanging around San Francisco for a while. And his stuff's like super clunky, super simple, but based in American traditional stuff.
Well, everyone's like, I mean, it's like people all over. I think there's like a Asian guy that I really like.
Okay.
Who kind of does.
I wonder what his name is. This Asian guy.
I don't know, but he does like these like kind of like another cat. I wish I had my fucking phone on me.
Oh, the Momo Cats guy?
Maybe.
Or Mon Cats?
That sounds about right. I
should know this dude's name. I was just standing next to him for like the entirety of a weekend.
And then there's this guy who I think he used to be a graffiti artist, like Lugos or something like that. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. I think I might be dead wrong too.
You ever seen Deno out of Spain?
Deno?
Super, super simple stuff. And he's like straight up like very inspired, I think, by San Francisco, like late 90s, early 2000s, like the funk, super simple shit. And then dudes like Norm showed up and started like piecing as fucking throw ups, and everyone was like, okay, I quit doing graffiti now. Yeah,
that's, I don't know. That's kind of like, that's why for me, like tattooing and like graffiti, they parallel each other so well. It's like this weird thing where there's like this funky style that I kind of lean towards liking. And then, you know, there's like in graffiti, it's like the piecers who like take things to like this level that, you know,
of craziness.
Yeah. Like to each their own, but it's not like really my like cup of tea.
Yeah. I was more impressed with that stuff back when you couldn't get caps and you couldn't get like graffiti specific paint. Like when people were doing that stuff with Rust-Oleum cans and 87-cent cans, you know, like that's when I was a little more, but like I was also a kid, so that stuff was just mind blowing back then. But now
that's kind of how I am.
Cool graffiti, bro. Whatever.
Yeah.
I hope you got paid for it.
As a kid, it was kind of like, that's kind of the thing where like as a child or a young adult or whatever, I had like this different taste, you know, and so like piecing was like cool to me and that kind of thing. But then I kind of grew out of it and got more into like, I don't know, this like, there's like this, like that style of like teeter-tottering on like almost like ugly but funky, but it's like this like tightrope balance walk of like not going too far one way or the other. And that's kind of what I like in both those. I mean, I have no tattoos at all. I have like one middle finger dot from like a friend on a drunk night, but
that's where you start, the middle finger dot.
Yeah. But
you are here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was like a drunk, stupid joke of like, I'll just flick people off if they ask me.
Sweet. Sounds like a cool tattoo, bro.
I have a
tattoo. It was a drunk, fun night with a friend. Sounds like my kind of world.
But yeah, I used to have this weird rule about not getting a tattoo unless I've thought about it and like had an idea, then thought about it for a year. And then after a year, if I didn't want it after that, I wouldn't get it. And then it kind of turned into like this weird thing where I just never liked an idea longer than a year. So I just never got a tattoo. And then I came to like this weird moment where I was like, I don't think I want tattoos. And then just recently I've been like, okay, I think I want tattoos and I think I know exactly what I want. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like why I don't have tattoos.
Sure.
Oh, they also cost money.
Yeah, they do.
And
the good ones are like the people you're going to find that you like on the internet. Other people like them typically, and they're going to be really expensive. Like I did a walk up at the convention. I just went to the Bay Area Tattoo Convention, if anyone fucking cares. And
this is one of the guys, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know this. Lugossis. Logos.
He does like I don't know.
Way to keep it simple, bro.
This kind of stuff.
Some of it's really cool. And some of it I'm just like, why? But who am I to say?
He does like these, I don't know, these weird character things. I don't know.
If you want to get really mad about tattooing, look up what's his name? Autochrist.
Autochrist?
He's known for doing like the worst, most simple tattoos, and he has like 1 million followers.
On purpose?
Yeah. He's just taking a big shit over my industry or my culture or whatever you want to fucking call it. But I walked up to this dude that I've been following for years out of Spain, and I was like, hey, you got time for a tattoo? And he's like, sure. And he just drew a bobcat on my arm. And I was like, how much is it going to run me? He's like, $600. I'm like, fuck, good for you, dude. And I'm like, let me count my money real quick.
Oh, look at that thing. Holy shit.
Yeah, man, it's bad. This guy got interviewed on a tattoo podcast recently. That's actually a really good podcast. It's called Books Closed. It's really good. The guy has access to all like top tier tattoo people. And he interviewed this dude over the phone. The guy was like pretty forthcoming about like that he's a bitch.
Do people hate him in the tattoo?
Oh, people fucking hate this guy. Hate him. So it was kind of cool that this dude got an interview with him, and he took a couple jabs at him, nothing serious.
Oh, you know Word to Mother? That's another tattoo artist I like.
Okay, he's got 33.3 thousand, not 1 million, but that's way more than I have.
I don't know if he always removes all of his posts, so that didn't work out well.
Is he getting a lot of hate?
No, he's just kind of a weird guy, but he's an artist, but he's also a tattoo artist. And his just style, or his like his style, I kind of just like. It's like a very messy, simple thing again, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're just tattoos. I mean, this is something that my girlfriend pointed out to me recently. She was like, "You realize that no one gives a fuck about tattooing."
Like this.
That thing's cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's kind of got like a early Disney cartoon feel to it.
Yeah,
right. I mean, this is what's popular right now.
Is it?
Oh,
that makes me like it less.
Black
in a weird way.
Black ink only, super simple. And what's funny is like there's a guy that his name is Pokio. He has a bunch of E's in the name. It's stupid. But that dude's got 1 million followers, and his stuff is super simple. And he actually wrote a thesis paper in college before he was a tattooer because he was studying marketing, and he figured out the perfect way to market tattoos on Instagram. It has to be consumable in less than half of a second, and it has to look good on a small screen. Like you can't appreciate a back piece on a fucking cell phone.
Right.
You can, like I can, but the consumer doesn't. So he figured this whole fucking thing out, and he does like super simple tattoos now. And is famous, and he kind of hates himself a little bit for doing it because he's neo'd it, you know, like he sees the ones and zeros of the cell phone, and he's played the game, and now he feels trapped where he has to do these super simple, boring tattoos. And he wants to do like daggers and panthers and shit,
right? And
he fucking missed the boat.
Yeah, God, that sucks.
I mean, I'm broke, but I get to tattoo a dagger like every couple of months.
Yeah, you do like the traditional style, right?
Yeah.
Which that's like one of my favorite styles too.
It's how tattoos should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you want to go get some crazy 3D stuff, like good on you. Like, I can't do it for one. Two, they're making way more fucking money than I am.
3D stuff? What do you mean? like
It's like realism. Like they're trying to do fucking paintings on people. It's not a painting, man. It's a fucking tattoo.
Yeah,
like
they always look kind of bad too after a while.
Try and find a healed photo, man.
Yeah.
Like 2 years down the road. see what that shit looks like. And some of them last.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who can do it to make it last. But I've also seen 3D realistic tattoos that are just like a dumpster fire.
Right.
I'm sure.
And you're like, why?
Yeah, for sure.
I always wonder about that, like that watercolor style, whatever they call it.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, my girl, she has this elephant on her foot that's like amazing though. I forget who she got it done by. Someone in in Roanoke Park.
Is it realistic?
Kind of. It's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think it's like single needle or something. It's like very like lightly, like a light hand.
Done in black and gray, like black and gray realism. That stuff lasts.
Yeah.
Like cholo culture stuff, like tattooing black and gray single needle stuff, like totally doable. If you want to see really good realism in tattooing in Santa Rosa, look up Jake Yarnall. He just opened a tattoo shop in downtown Santa Rosa. You wouldn't even know it's there. Pete's Coffee, Barnes and Noble, and then him, like upstairs. Yeah, dude.
Wait,
okay.
There's no in between. That's like a street.
Well, yeah, it's D Street. So like, there's Pete's Coffee on the corner. He's behind Pete's Coffee, up above the back entrance of the Kinko's, and then Starbucks, Barnes and Noble's across the street.
That's cool. Is he from here? Or he just
he's from here. I went to elementary school with him.
Nice. That's cool. How many friends do you have from here that are tattoo artists?
Too fucking many, man. There's too many of us.
There is a good chunk of like not only like tattoo artists, but like tattooed people here.
Yeah, it's a Sonoma County, Santa Rosa thing. I don't know why. Bill Burr came to the LBC a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard that he really liked Santa Rosa, and I listened to his podcast the next day that he gave from his hotel. Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
Did you remember when he was like, dude, Santa Rosa people are drowning in tattoos? He described this woman had tattoos like going up her neck and like freaked him out. And I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Santa Rosa's got rich tattoo culture, man.
Yeah.
Super rich.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's true. Yeah.
Burt Rodriguez, man. Santa Rosa tattoo.
See, I'm assuming this is like a legend guy.
Pretty much. Do you know Dot?
Dot?
He owns Santa Rosa Tattoo now.
I have no idea.
He was from the graffiti world back in the day. I'm not going to blow his name up on here. You should definitely interview that guy. I've tried to get him on my podcast, but I don't have any weight. You guys pull weight, so you guys.
I lift.
Now if you want to get into some crazy tattoo history, I would fucking definitely talk to that guy. I don't know shit. I'm such a latecomer to this tattoo stuff, and I'm just a little fucking kid. I'm
just such a bad knower of rememberer of names that if someone has like a ton of knowledge, it's like, oh, that's awesome. But then literally a second later, I'm like, no idea what you just said.
That's why you're recording.
I know. Sometimes I'll listen back to my podcast just to write down the names that people said so I can Google them later. Oh yeah, I know that person. Or
do you guys listen to your episodes often?
Well, I actually recently stopped like listening to them.
Oh, really?
Just because I was getting too much in my head, and I was like, I need to stop.
I stopped. In the beginning, I listened to him a lot. Do you listen?
Yeah, I do to do the show notes and stuff for it.
Sure.
Yeah. But
I just fucking freeball all that shit, dude. Like I try, I put them out as fast as I can. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not, so I can't like all the Photoshop stuff. I'm doing on my phone now because I'm better editing on my phone.
Sure.
Write some text, their fucking Instagram, just put it on the internet, get it out as fast as possible.
For sure.
I've tried to get people to help me with it, but like I can't pay them a lot of money.
You're right.
So they're like, yeah, I'm going to go hang with my mom instead of you.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
So, and I'm also not an audio person either. So I'm just like figuring my way through all this shit.
Well,
making it up as I go.
We did too.
I bought this soundboard, and I have like a friend of mine who's who went to college for like audio stuff, and shout out to Fleaves. And he was like, so he came down and like helped us kind of learn some things.
Right.
Look like fumbling idiots.
I just did like YouTube how to podcast. And I found the one dude that I could like actually stomach listening to. And he broke it all down, and I do his method, and it's worked for me. But there's a bunch of information out there about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, as long as it sounds good, no one's really gives a shit about the graphic. No one gives a shit about it's like guessed and how it sounds.
Sure.
I mean, even then, sometimes like our earlier episodes, the audio was horrible, and I'd be like, oh, it sounds so bad. And people are like, I didn't notice anything. Like,
same here, like over critiquing it. People are like, no, I love it. And you're like, okay, like maybe I'll stop trying so hard.
Exactly.
I do try and like pay attention to things that bother me when I hear myself talk.
Right. For sure.
like sometimes I'll up talk and it drives me fucking crazy, and I'll like make myself listen to a whole episode to like beat it back in my head to not up talk, because it's like the most annoying thing in the world to me. Now I'm gonna start doing it all the time. And like likes and ums and all that shit. Now that I pointed it out, we're just gonna be like, fuck, you said it again.
I've realized a while ago that if I have to try to stop saying like, I have to do it outside of the podcast, because if I'm like in the podcast saying stop saying like, all I do is just get in my head, and then the person's talking, I'm like, what the fuck did they just say for the last 5 minutes? I'm just
for sure
trying not to say like.
I just try and chill with it, man. Like, how many episodes have you guys done?
This is 42.
42.
Good. I mean, you guys seem relaxed and chill. Like, I felt nervous when I sat down, and I'm like, oh, I just did this last night for like 3 hours. Like, what's my problem? But after a bit, like, it's just normal to you. And then you watch people wig out, and you're like, dude, chill. It's fine. Like, you're hanging out in my living room. It's fine. Like, no big deal.
Yeah, I've had one of our good buddies. He like had like a little bit of a freak out, and we had to pause the episode for a bit. It was like, hey, take your time, man. Like, it's literally us just talking. Like,
is he an artist?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. But it's weird because
spends a lot of time alone.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, he's a talker though. Like, we can hang out and talk for hours. But it's just like putting a mic in front of him changed the thing.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So
some people get wigged out by the fact that there's like untold 10 to 20 people listening.
Right.
Or for my podcast, it's like 4.
Yeah.
And people like, they trip out on that, and they're like, this is forever. It's like, no, it's not. I have a password to my account, and I can delete anything at any time.
Right.
So if it's like really bad, or like social atmosphere changes, like we can make that shit go away. Like, don't worry about it. And I like the pressure of having to think about something before I say it.
Right.
And then also letting things slip out, and then being like, and then like I'll lose sleep over it. And I'm like, dude, I shouldn't have I was being a dick. Like, it's gotten better now, but like last night I was like tired, and they were just feeding me beer, and I was just like, I was interviewing a brewer. Right. He brought 12 bottles. There was 2, and they're like the wine bottle size.
Was it the sour guy again?
Yeah.
Nice.
Shady Oak, right?
Yeah, Shady Oak. Yeah. Steve Doty. Nice. And then his buddy Martin, who introduced me to him.
Okay.
So we were just throwing them back, and I'm just like sweating and like saying dumb and just talking shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I've also been on a hiatus, so I'm kind of rusty right now. I'm just like fucking lighting people up all the time.
Yeah.
I know
chill. You went on like an adventure like Luke Skywalker or something.
Yeah, I didn't learn much. Now people are like, do your podcast again. I'm like, okay, like I don't really have the mindset for this right now.
That's cool. You figure out some shit at all?
I changed my life up a lot.
That's cool.
I have a new girlfriend. I spend all my time in Oakland now. Like,
oh, really?
Is she in Oakland?
Yeah, she's in Oakland.
Nice. That's cool.
You've met her, Gandalf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She like doodles as well, right?
She does art. Yeah. She does pretty wild shit.
She does cool stuff. Yeah, like she's kind of like the funky, teeter line of like, you're not trying to portray like realistic, like you're trying to take something and stylize it
totally
in this funky way.
She's really inspired by tattoo stuff, so
that makes sense.
Chasing that for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, life is crazy how like 1 month of your life is one way, and then it's like everything's changed and everything's different. Like, living in a town where like we know people who lost homes. I'm sure you guys know people who lost homes in the fire. Like those people's lives went like whip whip. Like now you don't have all your stuff anymore.
I know, that's a fucking.
Did either of you guys get threatened by that?
I had to evacuate for a few days.
Gotcha.
But I didn't lose anything or anything like that.
I thought my warehouse was going to go down, and I thought that my house was going to go down.
Because you were near coffee. I don't know if you want to say it, but
whatever. Come find me.
You were out near Coffee Park, so yeah.
You'll get met with a Glock. Close. Come knock on my fucking door.
Yeah.
But, can I swear on your podcast?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah. So get the fuck.
This is my tune-up episode. Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Well, I don't know about that these days.
You can say it. You can say it.
Yeah, so my house was my house before I moved out of it was on Sonoma Mountain, and the fire was like literally across the street. So I left my warehouse, went home. Warehouse is burning up. Whatever.
Right.
Goodbye. And then I went home and I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to burn down too. And my mom's store almost burned down. My mom's house, like we almost got evacuated of that. And I was like, holy shit, like my whole world's going to go up. And then what's crazy is I went home. I got my fucking Arc'teryx jacket. I got my knife my friend Dante made me. and I got my Emery Douglas painting, and that was it. And I was like, cool, I'm set. Don't need anything else.
Yeah,
I'm all good. And I had that like Zen moment of just like release it all.
Yeah,
like podcast equipment gone,
right.
all my paintings, all my drawings, whatever. Bye, see ya.
Yeah,
and my warehouse was not insured at the time, so it was just like peace. And then it didn't burn down. I was like, oh fuck,
I know.
I have all this stuff.
I thought my the place I work, I thought they burnt down fully, and I was like, cool, I think I can file for unemployment and just become a full-time artist. And then like a couple days later, it was like, oh no, only one building burned down, so we're good. And was like,
and you're back there with matches, like, come on, motherfucker, come on.
Like, are you sure? But yeah, that was the crazy thing about that time too, was like, even we weren't in danger, or we weren't in danger. But you know, when people called us and they were like, you need to get out of Santa Rosa, it's all on fire. So we just packed what we, thought was important, and kind of we were just ready to go.
Nice.
But it does kind of like force you to like think that way. I think all of Santa Rosa kind of get this like, what do I grab if all I have is right now?
Right.
And,
The knife your homie made you, and your expensive jacket you'll never buy ever again.
Yeah.
Oh, and your Emery Douglas painting. I mean, you got quite the collection in here. Like,
I literally only grabbed my sketchbooks. I was like, all I want are my sketchbooks.
Vain ass motherfucker.
Like all this shit, I'm like, whatever. I mean, maybe I should have grabbed the Swoon. It's worth a shitload of money, but
we should for sure sell that thing.
yeah, buy a second house.
Do you own this place?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, we pay a mortgage, but
whatever. You're
Yeah.
better off than most people I know.
I know we set our price, so when the rent keeps going up, we're kind of like, we're stuck right here at this price, so that's cool forever.
What do you mean the rent in the county?
Yeah,
like if you were to move?
Yeah.
Well, why would you? You bought your house.
No, what I'm saying is like, when people were renting and then rent keeps bumping
Gotcha.
up, and
Yeah,
we're like, oh well, we're stuck at this price forever.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You've got a little bit of control of the situation. How
Yeah,
long have you owned it?
3 years now, maybe 4. I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How much you paid for it? What color underwear are you wearing?
Black and
and black.
and yeah. I mean, it's worth a good chunk more than we bought it for.
Good.
But yeah, I don't know.
You thought about cashing that lotto ticket in and
I've
checking
thought
out
about it
something
for
else?
sure. My wife, she probably wouldn't let that happen for a while, but I'm always like, this place would be kind of cool. That place would be kind of cool.
Dude, you can buy a house in Tennessee for $40K. 40.
You can do the same thing in fucking what's the Lake County? You can probably buy a mansion over there for $40K.
Not anymore.
No,
Not post fire.
oh really?
It's California, man. It's all just going through the roof. We're becoming like the San Jose amoeba is going to meet the LA amoeba and become a super people amoeba, and everything is going to be $1 billion.
Yeah,
And then they're going to build a wall around us and be like, fuck California. It's a wasteland now.
yeah, yeah.
Plastic surgery and tattoos. And
Do you ever hear how they want to break the city or the state up into like a bunch of different states?
Yeah.
this is why I don't pay attention to politics, man. It's fucking nonsense. Get out of here with that shit. It's not going to happen.
I wish they kind of did do it though.
They couldn't even build a train to fucking Cloverdale from
Yeah, that's totally true.
Marin was like, no, you can't do it. And I'm talking about Bart, like early days.
Right.
Yeah.
Bart was supposed to go all the way to Cloverdale.
But that's not politics. That's just like people who hate change.
It's bureaucracy,
Yeah.
period. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Just people who have money who are like, I don't want shit in my area
Right.
to like have other shit.
And change.
Yeah.
And we don't want those like unwanted people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they have San fucking Quentin. And they used to put those dudes on Greyhounds to Santa Rosa. Now I'm mad already. This is what I do. I get all riled up, talking about shit I do not understand.
When I started dating my wife, I was living in San Jose at the time, and I would like come and visit her. She stayed up here. And there was one time we were driving, and I pointed to San Quentin. I'm like, oh, like I really want to go eat there. There's like a really nice restaurant in that hotel. And she's like, really? We should do it. I'm like, yeah. And then I think I forgot about it or something. She's like, do you ever want to go with that? And I'm like, oh no, that's a prison. I was lying.
You're just making jokes.
Yeah. It was just like a long joke I forgot all about.
It's a long-term joke, man.
Yeah. I'll say some stupid shit just to see if someone will believe it. And then.
Oh, so you're a troll.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I had a cousin who like, when we were in high school, he was like, he had a bruise on his arm and he was pushing on it with his thumb like really hard. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, pushing on my bruise. And I'm like, why? And he's like, you told me this gets rid of bruises. I'm like, I don't even remember that.
That's a fucking good one. That's a super good one.
Yeah, so he must have gone years of just like pushing on bruises.
I'm gonna use that one. I'm like, yeah, you gotta put it in the door and just like push the door against your arm in between the door and the door frame and just keep pushing.
Yeah, pressure. It hurts, but it works.
It also has to be above your head, like all the blood drain out of it, and just like totally fuck them over.
Yeah, it's like the guy who like started the walk it off. You know, like you gotta twisted ankle, like walk it off.
Make it worse.
Yeah, and people have been saying that forever. What if he was just like the original troll? Fuck, I don't know.
Do you want to talk about my shitty painting or what? I don't really care about my art, so if you want to just like keep talking shit, I'm down.
Yeah, we can do whatever. I can talk shit forever. If you don't,
if you want to critique me, I'm down. Like just shit all over me.
Well, I really want to talk about this one, only because I really like your tigers.
They're just Korean folk tigers.
I know, but that's the shit I like when it comes to tattoos. Like, so when you do these, do you like reference another tiger, or do you like? Is it kind of like you got like the movement down?
I straight up Googled Korean folk tiger, and I was like, that one's weird. That one's weird. The one that is, I think it's the bottom middle one. That's a full body tiger, and he's actually holding a pipe and he's smoking a pipe, and there's a rabbit facing him with his back to the viewer, and he's smoking a pipe, and that magpie up there, middle right, just like hanging out with them. I was like, this is the weirdest shit ever. I didn't trace it, but I just look at it and redraw it, kind of make it my own. You know?
That's the Korean folk tattoo. So
folk
like
tigers.
So that's like tigers. So is that
they're about tigers? I guess like
it was like their art, or they tattooed them on people.
It's like if you looked up like an American bulldog or like an American eagle. It's kind of sort of kind of. I mean, there's a bunch of like stories I'm sure I could read about it, but like I'm a white dude who's just appropriating shit to make cool drawings. So.
Right.
I'm not going to spend my time on Wikipedia.
Right.
I'm just trying to make cool tiger heads. I've seen a lot of people tattooing tigers that look like these, and I was like, you know, you can always rip from someone else's tattoo.
Right.
But once you find the source, you're like, oh shit, tight. Now I can kind of spin off on my own direction as opposed to just like taking what someone else has drawn and like, which is fine. I mean, tattooing is all about stealing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, all of art is like built on other people's art.
But it's nice to like see where something came from and spin off in your own direction.
For sure.
Yeah.
I remember I watched like one of those tattoo TV shows a long time ago when I was in like high school. And it had that like Egyptian eye thing people get tattooed, you know what I'm talking about? And then this lady,
Eye of Ra.
Yeah, she was like trying to get it tattooed, and the guy was like, oh yeah, let me like mess with it a little bit and make it a little funkier. And she's like, okay. And then he came back and she was like, oh no, like you messed up all the, like, they're like all these, like the way these angles are like very specific. And she broke it down. The guy was like, I've been doing these forever and I knew none of that. Like, like there's like some mathematical equation to the eye or some shit like that.
I'm back in my art history days. I could fucking run with that, but like I deleted all those files. That's what's interesting about tattooing people, though, is like when they come to you with their ideas. If you actually go to Wikipedia and like kind of read it, like I learn shit all the time about the craze, like just like what you're talking about.
Right.
The I think it's the Eye of Ra. I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
But yeah, I learned crazy shit all the time just working with my clients. Like they come to you with like the weirdest shit, and you're like, I'll spend 5 minutes and read about it. Like, I'm so glad I read about this. This is such a trip. And then you pretend like you thought of it.
Right. Yeah, you recycle. It's like the very next customer.
Exactly.
Until you forget.
I need some more smart clients.
That's hilarious. When it comes to that, is that a thing you enjoy? Like, because I don't know, whenever I watch those, like, you know, like those like shows back in the day of like tattoo artists, it's the thing like, man, that seems like miserable that they have to like listen to everyone's reasoning for each tattoo.
I mean, I've worked a lot of different jobs, and I've dug ditches. I've fucking scraped bum shit off bike tires in San Francisco as a bike mechanic. Like, you know, I did a little bit of work. I washed my fair share of dishes. I've roofed a house before. I've been under houses. I've fucked up people's houses.
Right.
And that shit is way worse than doing something that actually interests you.
For
so
sure.
when someone's like, and yeah, of course, like people's stories are boring,
right?
But I like people. Like,
okay,
you know, if people who don't like people and they do tattoos, I'm like, you must be hella good, man. Because if you don't like people, it's not the job for you.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of most people.
It's taught me a lot about actually not judging people by their cover. You know what I mean? Like people walk in like, shit, look at this fucking nerd.
Right.
And they end up being like the coolest person, and I stay in contact with them and they like care about you. You're like, oh, this guy looks hella rad. And you're like, dude, this guy's a fucking bitch. Like, or whatever. Like, I'm always wrong. So when people, and it still happens, like we judge people automatically when we see them.
Right. I don't judge people by sight. It's more of like once I hear them talking, I'm like, can't do this.
Well, we judge in a way that's like, are you a threat? That's the first thing that comes. Like, it's subconscious. Like, is this person a threat? No. Does this person have money? Probably. What hoops do I have to jump through in my situation to get them a cool tattoo and get my PG&E bill paid? Like, we're always making these judgments about people, and it's not like putting them down per se,
right?
But I mean, like, it's a tattoo shop. Like, crazy people come in
for sure.
Like, one time I had a lady trying to charge her cell phone with the wrong charger, and I was like, this lady's gonna start a fire or some shit, and she's screaming at me about how much I had too much eggnog, and I was like, dude, it's like fucking,
it's July.
Yeah, we're like,
no one's drinking.
She was out of her mind, and it's like, to me, like, I was having a good time.
That sounds like a fun time. I don't mind crazy. I mind, like, you know, like up talk. Like if someone's like full on up talk.
Am I up talking, Sergio?
No,
not at all.
No, you're good.
When I do start up talking, will you please give me the thumbs down? Like, bring it down, Loren.
Yeah, down talk. Yeah, I don't even know if that's the thing. Is that a thing?
When you're talking down to people,
like your pitch would go down. You're like, hey guys.
Well, there's vocal fry. That's that's almost the opposite of up talk.
What's vocal fry?
You know, when people talk, I can't really do it, but
that's a cool name of a band. That's a band name. Should we start this now?
It's like
probably a band already, I bet.
Yeah,
it's like the Valley Girl sort of thing, where instead of doing the up talk, it's I don't know how to explain it.
Do it,
well.
Sergio. Do it. Just like, impersonate it.
Like, I went through a really spiritual awakening recently.
Oh, okay.
It's not exactly the opposite of talk. Like, a lot of people do it at the same time, but like that
it's the same person.
Sort of like frogginess that people have in their voice when they, it's almost like a ramping down of your voice.
Huh. Yeah, that's weird.
I like listening to people talk that you can tell they've done a bunch of meth. And you're like, oh yeah, you got stories.
Yeah. They've also got like tics that don't go away after they've done it too long.
And like weird, like sinewy muscles. You're like, why are you so buff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you used to do crank and work out and paint houses like all at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you're talking about like dealing with people, man. Like, that's one of the benefits of the job is like, so you check it out. Like, I used to get bummed out on like religious people all the time. And I had 2 people that I tattooed. Actually, it might have been like 2 or 3. They're all Christians, and they were very open about it. They never pushed me on it. They were just like, they would just come up in conversation, and I'd be like, damn, dude, like, you have an imaginary friend in the sky? Like, shit. Like, well, you're cool as fuck, so I'm rad.
Right.
And it kind of like actually changed my perspective on religious people. And it was mostly Christian people, but like that just kind of blossoms into everything else. I'm like, well, these people have their beliefs and they can still be rad people. Like, they weren't pushing nothing. They were like Sonoma County liberal type, like open-minded, sweet people.
Right. For sure.
That's kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
you know, I grew up kind of like hating the church, and now I'm like, this guy goes, he has a good time.
Yeah.
Why do I have to waste my time hating something?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat, kind of. I only get upset if people are, like the other version of like Christianity, you know, where they're like, this is the right way, you're doing things wrong. Like, relax.
Right.
Like no one, just do your thing.
Everyone for sure needs to relax.
Yeah.
In the wise words of our boy Brendan Schaub, just fucking for sure chill.
Did he say that?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if he still drops the for sure. That's where I got that from. It used to drive me crazy when he said it, but I started saying it. And it just is so entertaining to say. Like for sure chill. Like,
Oh yeah.
everybody needs to calm the fuck down. Like there's no meteorite coming. Yeah, there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world. Point to a time when there wasn't a bad thing happening. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Dude, look outside. It's like Bill Hicks said, there's like fucking birds chirping. It's sunny. Like,
right, for sure.
Calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I just Netflix, I don't know if it's new or old, but they've been doing these like time period things. I don't know if you've seen that.
Mm-mm.
It's like, so they have the 90s, and I feel like the 90s are like this like era for like maybe our age group where we kind of look back in fondness and like, oh shit, wasn't that messed up back then? And I watched it and I was like, I forgot how fucked up things were back then. Like
things were crazy, man.
Yeah,
you had to memorize phone numbers and shit.
But even like,
the fuck is that?
Like the wars we were in and all these. I was like, I forgot about that. And like
L.A. riots.
Yeah, the Oklahoma City bombing,
OJ, fucking Oklahoma City bombing for sure.
Yeah,
dude, shit was wild back then.
It was
98 was Columbine. Like
Columbine. Yeah, they brought up all that, and it was like, oh, because they don't like sugarcoat it like most things, like the 90s, you know, and you like,
right.
You watch those things and I'm like, oh, fun times, all economy's booming, but it's
Full
like
house.
Yeah, you start seeing all these things, you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. And I don't know, it was really good. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, it's kind of that
watch.
thing. Yeah, I would recommend it for sure.
Right on.
At least for anyone who's kind of lived in the 90s, because I tried to watch the 80s and I was born in the 80s, but I was way too young to remember any of that. So
yeah.
So I was like, I started watching. I was like, all right, I got nothing. Like I don't know. It was more like it was like a refresher of things I've lived through.
Sure.
In the 90s, rather than the 80s being a history thing. Yeah.
Sure. For me, like in comparison between 2018, almost 2019 to the 90s, is like we're talking onto the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't cost you guys that much money to do this.
Right.
It doesn't cost me that much money. It's a lot of time, but like, like NBC and ABC and TNT and all that shit is like, they're going up in flames right now.
Oh, I know. It's funny.
My best friend's big brother made a movie for Netflix. What?
Damn.
It's fucking, and they peeled him off a fat check. Like, go make your movie, dude. Damn. Wheelman. Seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's a fun ride.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Shout
cool.
out to Wheelman.
It's fucking Jeremy Rush, dude.
That's awesome.
He references the Phoenix. You know the Phoenix in Petaluma. He references the Phoenix Theater in like the first 5 minutes of the movie. I'm just like, hell yeah.
Nice. Is that about this area?
No, it's Boston, like bank heist, car chase kind of movie, thriller.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. It gets gritty. I'm just like, whoa, dude, this is fucking gnarly.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so now like we're connected, we can communicate, share ideas and whatnot. And
right.
The internet is going around lifting up the rug on everything. Like, oh, this guy did this 20 years ago, burn his house down. Oh, this guy did that, kill this motherfucker, like roast this guy, like, which is cool. I get it. I'm just kind of like taking a big like Looney Tunes step back, like, whoa, okay,
yeah.
And I'm watch what the fuck I say on the internet.
There was a sweet spot in the internet where like I feel like where like parents didn't figure it out yet, you know, and it was like, I don't know, it was like a place for younger people to like do shit. I don't know.
Sure. Well, now I feel like the younger kids are turning into our conservative parents.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
They're becoming watchdogs, and it's fine. I get it. Like they're trying to fucking they're witch hunting. Fucking go for it, but I don't participate in it. I don't want. I just want to burn down Ramen Guy Gin. Like,
don't you dare!
I'm kidding.
They, I think they just have this like obligation to figure out what's right and wrong, but they just don't know how to like lay down a consequence for that. You know, it's like everything has to be like immediate and a big punish. Like they have to punish people for fucking up.
They want to punish everybody.
Yeah.
But they also don't want to give out redemption. Like there's no, Rogan's been talking about that a lot. There's no pathway to redemption. Like how do these people, how do you get back from being a piece of shit? And it's like, well, fuck them forever. I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. But I was raised to think about other people's feelings.
For sure.
I don't know who fucking affected my life, but like I think about other people's people before I make decisions. And if I'm doing something that's fucking someone else over, I know that I'm doing it and I feel bad about it. And
but it's even things
kind of like eats me inside a little bit.
Like, I don't know if we want to go into
here we go.
It's like, like Louis C.K.
Totally.
Like, from the get-go, I always thought, like, that sounds like a guy with a fetish. Like, I literally do not understand what he did that's bad. Maybe there's, like, details of it that I don't understand, but, like, if someone has a fetish of sniffing someone's feet and they ask the person says yes, and he does it, and if the person says no and he doesn't do it, there's nothing wrong with that. But, like, I don't know, it's like this weird thing of, like, what fetishes are cool and what fetishes aren't.
Yeah. I think what people have a problem with Louis C.K. is that they view him as a person that's in power.
Right.
And he's putting people in a situation where they feel like he's a big brother, someone that they look up to in a way.
Right.
I haven't done all the reading. I don't know.
But there was like a comedian recently that came out that was like, oh, we were like childhood friends or something, and he used to do it then. Like, we were friends when we were young, and he used to do it then. Like, when he was like really young, and it was like, and sometimes I'd be like, no, and he wouldn't do it, and sometimes I'd say yeah, and he would do it, and it was like,
so he was asking for consent and then didn't get consent and then didn't do it.
Yeah.
I think Sarah Silverman actually came out and said the same thing too.
Yeah, everyone so far, it's been like he asked and they say no, and he's like, okay, and if they say yeah, then he does it, and it's like, that seems like a fetish.
Yeah.
And they all seem like adults. I don't understand why you have to punish this person, like, for his sexual.
Again, I haven't read the whole fucking thing. Like, this is why I don't vote, because I don't do the reading. People are like, you have to vote for this person. I'm like, well, because you fucking say so.
Wait, can you say you don't vote?
I don't vote. Yeah. Oh, I mean, fucking voter fraud's real, dude. Like, and like people are like, you have to vote for Hillary. I'm like, why? They're like, anything but Trump. And I'm like, okay, California's going to go to Hillary anyway, so I'm not going to waste my fucking time. But also, I will say that I am lazy because I'm not willing to do all the reading from all these fucking backwards ass politicians.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what these people are trying to do. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They care about They don't. That's all corporate fucking money, man. Here we go. I'm gonna go full Alex Jones right now. Dude, Fleck the other day was like, you're the Alex Jones of Santa Rosa right now. All, really? Thank you. Oh, I'm so touched. I do not like that title, by the way. I'm totally kidding. I was like, you motherfucker.
If anyone's the Alex Jones, it's him. He's like a huge conspiracy theorist.
Oh, Plague?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Have you guys had him on yet?
No.
You need to. It's so fun. He's so wild.
He's such a crazy guy.
He's a character.
Yeah.
I had him on my podcast to find out that he was a goddamn Marine. I was like,
I know, I heard that.
I was gonna kill people? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I heard that podcast before I met him.
Right.
I was like, oh, I heard your podcast. That was awesome.
When he was on my show?
That's how we got to know.
Hell yeah. He's fucking great. He's like the old, does he just message you guys all the time?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Oh, yeah. I fucking love it.
About Crocs.
Super fan.
Crocs.
And Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
I get a different brand of shit. It's mostly like him trying to get me to show things to Jared. I'm like, what? Like, you show him. Like, he won't respond to my messages. Like, well, okay, I wonder why. But back to my rant, I'm not willing to do the reading, so I just stay out of it. Like,
yeah, I literally,
Louis C.K. is a freak. I don't know. Like, he's got way more money than me, and everyone wants to burn his fucking palace down. I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm also not trying to jerk off in front of people in fucking hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And if I was friends with
I'm also not trying to sniff feet either.
Sure.
That doesn't mean I'm against it.
But like, we went to, if I came here and you guys were like, hey, door's locked and we're alone, blinds closed, can we smell your feet? I'd be like, God damn it. And if I was a person that felt physically less capable than you guys, like if I was, say, female or,
right, for
you
sure.
know, like that's when it gets weird, or people feel trapped.
Obligated. Yeah.
Right,
maybe socially obligated, but they feel trapped, and they're like, whoa, I thought this person was my friend. And I know you're not like trying to like defend Louis C.K. I think about this shit all the time. And I keep coming back to the same point of, I don't know. I'm not in that situation. Right. But if someone that I trusted was like, can I have sex with you real quick? I'd be like, well, fuck yeah, first of all. But I'm me, and I'm 6'3", and I've got this sweet beer belly I can totally beat you up with.
Yeah.
Which is different for a dude.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I that's the that's one of like the benefits of this like whole thing happening with all this like, Me Too stuff is like, it really does put into perspective things I've like literally never thought about just because I'm a humongous man. I'm like,
sure.
I literally go through life not afraid of like pretty much anything.
Sure.
But I'm also not afraid of death. Like, I'm also like, okay if I die, I'm like,
how old are you?
32.
How long have you been comfortable with death?
For a long time.
Tight, man.
Yeah.
When I turned 30, 31, I was like, wake up in the middle of the night, like, this body's going to rot. Fuck. And like cold sweats freaking out. And I'm like, I've eaten mushrooms. I know.
Yeah.
But like my brain was still like going through this like mental shit process of like, you're going to be you're going to be dirt, dude. And it's like, yeah, I know. I've known since I was a kid. And I felt myself level up to the point where I'm like, I don't really fucking care anymore. And I don't have to pay taxes on the other side. And I'm debt fucking free. Tight.
Right. Yeah. Well, I grew up, or didn't grow up, but I lived in East Paul Walltoe for, I don't know, 10. Well,
did you say Paul Walltoe?
East Paul Walltoe.
Like Paul Walltoe? No. Is that a place?
Yeah, Paul Walltoe. It's super fast.
You mean Paul Walltoe?
Super furious.
Paul Walltoe?
Is that how I said it?
I don't know. That's what I heard.
He's Paul Walltoe?
Isn't Paul Wall the dude with the fucking fronts, white guy rapper?
Paul Wall? I thought Paul Wall was the guy that died in Fast Furious. Maybe Paul Wall is the rapper.
I think Paul Wall's the rapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul Walker is the...
Paul Walker. I'm forever calling him Paul Walltoe.
Am I still saying it to you?
I don't know.
Well, I lived there for 10 years, and like we used to have a D-boy that lived next door to me, and when he moved in...
who?
Like a drug dealer.
Okay.
And he... the house like got shot up like for the first 2 months, almost like every other day.
Like drive-by style?
Yeah.
Wild.
And I was like, well, I'm going to die. And like that kind of like forced me to like think about like, I don't know, just being like, am I okay with that? Like what happens? And being like, yeah, I'm fine.
I had friends growing up that were like growing up like West 9th neighborhood, and they had grandparents like I did that lived near the rich kids school. Like I grew up downtown Santa Rosa. So I met these kids that like did the same hustle my parents did, where they like lied about where they lived using someone else's address so they could go to a better school. And I go hang out with these kids, and like Bone Thugs was big back then. And like I'd go to these kids' houses, and like they'd see cop cars, they'd hide. They were drawing skulls all the time. There was all this kind of like death imagery and I associated like ghetto life with like death for a long time. Plus, being a white kid that watched too much of the news, like if you wear red, you're getting shot.
Right.
I live in fucking Santa Rosa, dude, and I was 9. Like no one's gonna shoot me. I would not wear red. I would not wear blue. Totally brainwashed by fucking Channel 7.
But do you remember back in the day that kid in Windsor that got beat up for wearing like a blue sweatshirt?
He probably said some shit.
He probably did, but looking back as a little kid, because I remember that too on the news. But it was feeling the same way.
Super sensationalized.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, like he probably said some shit, or those kids were assholes, and the news was telling them that they should beat people up for wearing a color. Like it's working both sides here.
They should have made every kid wear red and blue at the same time, all the time.
Is that like forcing people to do drugs and making drugs legal? Like
no, it's just like you can't beat up a kid if all of the kids are, you can't like, that kid's got a blue shirt, and like they all have blue shirts and red backpacks.
Yeah, but then it would be like, you have fucking 68 eyelashes on your fucking eyelid. You're only supposed to have 67, bruh.
That's true. We are tribal people.
We would find another reason to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah. That's kind of the other point is like, I mean, especially boys, we're so like aggressive when we're young, it's like this weird like tension that we always have when we're young, when we're in our peak mating years.
Sure.
It's like
I wish I found martial arts as opposed to graffiti when I was a kid, but I'd be a completely different person.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. But like if I had kids, I would definitely put them in martial arts and like super like physical output activities all the time.
Yeah.
Because I had all this fucking anger that had nowhere to go. So I'd go fuck shit up.
For sure.
And like watched Wild Style 1,000 times. And then I heard about fucking, what's the Style Wars. I finally saw Style Wars, and it's just like gasoline on the fire. And it's like, dude, you don't live in the Bronx, bro. You're from suburb Santa Rosa for
like,
sure.
Who you talking to, B?
Yeah, exactly. So bad. My dad probably was just like, yeah, well, he's fucked. But eventually, that like in this area, at least the Bay Area, like graffiti goes into tattooing pretty quickly.
Right.
Like most graffiti people would try to advance into tattooing. Most fail, thank God. But it's like that's the move.
Right.
Like once I found tattooing, like graffiti was done.
Yeah.
Completely. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Like I didn't fuck with it at all. Zero. There was no need to. I had something else to focus. It's all about what you're focusing on.
Right.
I try and tell that to the young people I talk to is you got to find some trajectory. Like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Well, that's your biggest fucking problem. All you have to do is pick something. Right. Anything. You want to be you want to focus on changing your sexuality and like becoming a trans person and like and transform your person. If you focus on that, you can make that shit happen and good for you. You have something to fucking do.
Right.
If you want to fucking open a bookstore, great, go do it. Now what? But a lot of them are like, I don't know what I like. I'm like, well, then stop looking at the TV. Stop looking at Instagram to tell you what to like.
Yeah.
What keeps you up at night? Adderall? You're fucked, bro. Good luck. Good luck with life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would suggest them picking something that's a little more, I mean, feel free to become a transgender, but there's like a finish line to that. You know, that's like, after that, you're going to have to figure out something else. But that's the good thing about like martial arts.
Let's look at it this way,
artwork or things like that. You can always grow, you know, like it's never like a not learning situation.
Sure. But let's say you set out, you're like, I want to identify as this different person now, and you achieve that goal. You've achieved a goal. That alone to me, I'm like, what's the next goal? Right. I'm a super goal-oriented person.
Me too.
So it could be fucking anything. Like the whole like make your bed in the morning thing. Like I associate with that a lot. I don't make my bed, but I think about that kind of shit.
But you yell at the maid too.
Yeah, exactly.
Every morning. Like,
I just kind of throw a shoe.
Yeah.
Like
every morning, yell at your maid. That's a thing. It's a step. First step
How often do you guys interact with like people like 19, 20, 21?
I don't know. Somewhat. Not as much as I used to when I was doing graffiti. That's like a young man's game. So
totally.
Right.
I was always like the old
Sergio.
Almost never.
I'd see it weekly.
Yeah,
I see all the time.
You're a tattoo
That's like my client
sense.
Base. I'm like, how much money you got? Okay, none. All right, well, that's a place to start.
You're like a Yoda to them, probably.
No, I think a lot of them think I'm fucking nuts, which is fine because I used to be pretty normal when I was 19, and you start like looking at the world and like learning more, and you're like, this place is fucking, and you start like running with the rest of the fucking like, I think of it like a fucking stampede. And you're like, oh shit, like everyone's out of their fucking mind, like oh fuck, and you like get in this like crazy momentum of nonsense and craziness, and we're all just hurtling towards like the darkness of death, and we're all just pretending like everything's fucking okay.
So you're an optimist.
I don't know what the fuck. Optimus is dope, though. Talk about it, a fucking fresh hand style.
We know Optimus.
We have a episode we never dropped.
Really?
But
wait, he's been on this couch?
No, we went to his spot.
Tight. Did he say some shit he shouldn't have said? Moving on. Got it.
Fuck, I was just about to say. Oh yeah, I was gonna say because what you were saying kind of reminds me of my wife because like anytime like one of these like headlines comes up about politics or something, like I do keep up with politics pretty well, but like I also understand like things change very slowly, like, and so she's like, oh my god, and I'm like, relax, like what's gonna change for us, like. Very little, if anything. Like, I mean, there is one big thing to do with like her sister. She was born in Canada and that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's like there's other things that are like relax. Like nothing's gonna change. Like things take forever. There's checks and balances to this government. So there's two sides. They fucking fight each other all the time. They slow each other down. They
want to keep
each other
you scared.
Yeah. So like, if anything, nothing's gonna change.
Sure.
To change something with our government is literally almost impossible. They're so bad at doing their job.
I'm sure there's someone listening to this right now screaming, but what about blah, blah, blah? And I'm like,
just breathe.
I don't know, dude. I don't
like,
know. For me, there's so much to pay attention to, and there's so much nonsense on the front end. And then to pay attention to all the other stuff that is not being reported on. Like, I've thrown my hands up at this point. Like, I don't know how to fix it. I don't want to be president.
Yeah.
I was born in fucking Santa Rosa as a fucking white dude. Like, I am like the quintessential guy that everyone wants to just fucking hate on right now. And I'm like, okay, I have a podcast if you want to listen to that and get more mad at me. I have an Instagram page. I work a glass beetle tattoo. If you want to come yell at me for being
Do you get
something.
hated on at all?
I get a little bit of guff, yeah. I get texts from people, mostly people that know me that already don't like me. And I'm like, why are you listening to my podcast?
Well, there's that whole hate listen concept.
Yeah, they do that. And I'm just
That's
like,
weird.
Okay. Like, and I used to lose sleep over it, but at this point, I'm just like, I've invested too much time in a podcast that I don't really give a fuck about anymore.
Yeah, that's probably the best way of thinking about things anyways. Just like, I don't know, do you want me to change my opinions to not be myself? You know, like that's a weird ask for people.
Yeah.
It's like, I want you to not be you. Like maybe you can change your perspective on what you find ethical or whatever, but as far as like you being the personality you are at this moment, you can't just like fast forward to like a different belief setting that you might have in 5 years from now.
I think people like to assume that they can like touch your life and then set you in a motion that they think is more morally sound or a better way of looking at things. So the specific person that's coming to mind, like they heard something that was said on my podcast, immediately turned it off, didn't listen to the rest of it, and then attacked me for something I said about inmates. And I was like, oh no, we totally backtracked and like covered our asses on that. Like I say dumb shit all the time, and my brain goes a million miles a minute, and I'm like, you need to fucking circle back and cover up that douchebag comment your guest said about inmates at San Quentin. And I just got attacked by this person that like, I work at San Quentin. I'm like, great, good for you. Like you're so virtuous. I don't know.
What was the comment?
My guest said that prison inmates are douchebags. And then we ended up talking about
my dad was an inmate in San Quentin for a good chunk, and he was kind of a douchebag. So.
But we all know there's people who are wrongfully incarcerated. Like, and we ended up covering all that. We talked about a movie this dude watched where these 3 kids were accused of killing another kid, and they never actually did it. So I was like, I brought it back. I was like, isn't that kind of like how you were saying earlier that all prisoners were douchebags? Like, oh, I guess they're not. This person never got to that point. Just turned it off, and then I started texting like text bombing me, and then try to make me feel bad for not going to San Quentin with them and like shaking hands with dudes that are locked up.
Yeah, all you got to do is every sentence you say something like lumping a group of people, and you got to be like, I mean, of course there's a spectrum, but
you know? Or you can just be like, you have my phone number and you're texting me and you're mad. Like, did you have a shitty day?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I have a podcast. There's thousands of them. Go listen to something else that you care about.
For sure.
I don't even know why I do it. It's fun.
Yeah. I heard there's actually a podcast that inmates in San Quentin do.
Yeah, it's called Ear Hustle.
Yeah, really? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it. But
neither have I, but yeah.
I'm actually kind of done listening to podcasts.
Ear Hustle. You know what that is?
No.
That's eavesdropping.
Yeah, that's eavesdropping.
Oh, okay.
It's a good name.
It's super good.
God damn it.
I haven't listened to the podcast. I don't listen to fucking anything anymore.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I've listened to podcasts for so many years now, and like I'll put Rogan on to like drive to Oakland.
Sure.
Most of the time I'm just tuning it out though. Like just the sound of his voice is soothing to me at this point. I'm just like, oh, I'm driving. Like
sure.
I've got crammed too much fucking half facts in my head. Like I'm done quoting that podcast. Like, oh, did you know that fucking fucking blah blah blah, blah,
right,
blah, blah.
Right.
Like just regurgitating some shit I know nothing about.
Yeah. For sure.
That's why I should have a podcast, so I can just blabbermouth about things I don't know.
Exactly.
That's supposedly about art.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about art for a good chunk now.
Yeah, totally.
Painting stuff, kids.
Did you guys go to art school?
I didn't. No.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I went to the Academy of Art.
Oh, that's why you're so goddamn good. Because they actually teach fucking technique there.
Well,
They do.
What about me? Does that mean I'm a piece of shit?
No, you didn't waste your money.
Yes.
I went to CCA and they were like, more paint.
More paint.
That was the only piece of technique that was ever taught to me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, cool. This is just like high school line, but I could smoke. Right on. I'm going to drop out and this is bullshit. I fucking hated art school. I could not stand it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like pretentious cunts that go to art school is what I hear. I mean, there is a
I heard
spectrum.
some that don't go to art school too.
There's a spectrum, I'm saying, but
Oh, okay.
Save there, guy.
see how that works.
Is that the name of your side project podcast? There's a spectrum.
There's a spectrum.
Oh, this is really cool, like autism podcast that popped up. He doesn't talk about autism at all.
But yeah, I don't know. Fuck, this has been fun. Sometimes we're like, we have to talk so much art that my brain hurts by the end of this. So I'm like,
I'll talk all day. I'll review fucking Elroy Taco Truck around the corner, man. Like,
Elroy's, yeah, that's a good one.
it is good. You ever had the Santa Rosa torta or Santa Cruz torta?
There?
Yeah, it's like a Philly cheesesteak Mexican style.
Oh.
Dude, check it out.
Okay, we'll do.
How long do you guys record for?
2 hours.
Has it been 2 hours?
Fuck no.
No, barely been over one.
Cool, good.
Hell yeah. Well, we should probably talk about your painting. Then.
Oh boy, all 2 of them.
So there's this guillotine you painted for
An art show that didn't happen.
For an art show that didn't happen.
That's kind of how it goes for me. I like book art shows and they just like take a shit.
Really?
And they don't happen. Yeah. Happens
so
all the
crazy.
time.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Yeah,
when I was living in
have
San
I.
Francisco, it happened to me. I hung a show and they called me the next day and they're like, hey, the owner came in and said that she's closing the business.
What?
You should come get your stuff. And I was like, what? Okay. Cool art show.
Yeah.
But that's what you get when you have art shows and hair salons, though.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. I've had some of those.
Yeah, I stopped.
It is the thing. When you're coming up, you're like hair salons, random bars.
Yep.
Things like that. Did you ever do anything like that, Sergio? I don't know if art students do that kind of stuff.
Do they cut hair at the MoMA?
Yeah. No, I did a few little shows here and there at places. There was actually a tattoo parlor in San Francisco that had some of my stuff in it for a while.
Which one?
Don't remember it. Gold something? Rose Gold, maybe I think it was called. I don't know. I think it was somewhere out near Haight Street. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Okay, back to your painting, by the way. So, yeah.
I'm doing everything to not talk about my paintings right now, by the way.
So you did this painting. It's almost like it's very traditional, like tattoo style.
Let's get real. It's not a painting. It's actually a drawing because it's all line work based, and I used watercolor to fill it in. So
That's a painting.
technically, it's a drawing.
I think that's painting, isn't it? Or no?
No, it's a drawing.
Sergio, you're the student.
Looks more like a drawing to me.
If you use watercolor, though?
Well, yeah.
I had a show many, many years ago, and a girl I knew who was super hot, and she knew it, went to art school and came to my air quotes art show to see my air quotes paintings. And she was like, Loren, you need to understand, just because you're doing these drawings with paint and brushes, that they're technically not paintings. They are drawings. I was like, okay.
Why is
Never
that?
forgetting that little snippet of information.
Wait, why is that?
Because it's line work based.
Is that really a thing?
Sergio?
I guess. I mean,
Sounds
I don't
like
care either way.
Sounds like a bullshit rule made by artists.
Yeah. I'm just trying to shit on my painting. Trying to shit on my drawing.
But it's an old it's like the classic tattoo style, and it's like almost like a deity gauntlet thing, which has very hangy balls. By the way,
Yeah.
But
Very like totally framed too. They're silhouetted perfectly by the background.
yeah.
It's the first thing people see, and then there's like
Really?
a very like butthole-esque thing right above that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm assuming that's where they put the head.
Yeah.
Is that what
Right.
that's supposed to be?
Yeah, it's a guillotine.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen them in the movie, so I can't remember how they look.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a symbolic deity creature thing that has the power to take or give life. I don't know if that's really what
Mostly
the concept
take.
is. Yeah, pretty much only
It's called the
take.
King Killer.
Is that-
In my mind, that thing
That's cool.
stomps up to your castle, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's its tower of crowns and a sea of blood. Like, it's just about killing power.
And it's wielding a sword, and with the
It's
crowns
got
on
scale,
it. Yeah.
scale too.
And then a scale. I'm assuming for a play on justice, but I might be dead wrong.
No, that's Egyptian lore. Once you die, your heart is weighed against the weight of a feather. And if your heart is heavier than the feather, you go to Hades or whatever their version of hell is. I took
So
art history one time.
You want light? A light heart means like a good person.
Yes. So this is the idea that the heart of a king is heavier than the fucking, like, he's like, oh, we're weighing your heart. You're dead.
Yeah,
And then
and now he's going to the underworld.
I guess.
And then there's like a son who
eating
looks like
acid.
it's taking acid, and his third eye.
I knew I needed something up there, and I was like, let's just fucking throw a sun in there. And now it seems totally like stickery and just thrown in there, but whatever. It's a fucking tattoo painting. Like,
yeah. If Jackson Pollock can just flick paint and pretend he's a genius, why can't you add a fucking sun on acid?
he was, and here's why. He did it first.
I literally hate that reason.
That's a great reason.
No,
That's why you're mad, because you can't do it because he beat you to it.
Everyone doing a painting did that painting for the first time. I don't care what the narrative is.
Right, but he could render first. You ever seen his...
No, he can't.
Yeah, you could draw.
He fucking sucked.
Could he do it? Not as good as you. Am I wrong?
No,
am I talking out of school here?
I actually haven't ever seen any of his stuff
His
besides
older
the
work
splatter
sucked.
painting.
You've never seen his old stuff? His like abstract stuff?
No.
He sucked.
Well, abstract stuff isn't rendering.
But that's like his... he didn't... Let me see. Let's go.
Here we go.
Shit.
Another rabbit hole. Focus off me. I like it. I'm going to grab a beer out of my bag real quick.
Yeah, handle it. I think Jackson Pollock was a gimmicky person who found a gimmick that worked for him. And then he
was also a drunk.
Peddled it as being the first to do it.
Yeah, and dumb people in the 50s bought that shit.
Well, I mean, it's marketing is all it ends up being. Most well-known artists nowadays, or I don't know, since this era on, since the Jackson Pollocks on, all seem to be success means that I can market my shit the best. It doesn't mean I have to create the best work. It doesn't mean it has to be a great idea. It literally means I have to market it to enough of the right people to pretend that it's worth more than it actually is.
This is back. We're experiencing this now. Again.
Oh yeah.
Like I look at your guys' work. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just throw the fucking towel in over here.
I'll just get really good at marketing.
When I see people, no, fuck all that. I'm just gonna fucking paint weird shit that like, excites me. Like that painting that that thing flew out of me and it was super fucking fun.
Right.
I was pissed off. I was heartbroken, and I was like, there it is.
Right.
So the thing is, I was talking about this with Martin last night. Like, he was like, I want, like, getting back to that point is like impossible. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to fucking feel like that. That felt fucking terrible. That thing was a distraction from how shitty I felt.
Right.
And I'm not expressing anything. It's not it's like, that's a fucking big dick swinging demon that shows up to kill a king, because everyone's mad about Trump all the time. Like, here you go. There's your fucking Trump killer. Stop crying about it. Go kill him or shut your fucking mouth or do a little watercolor drawing.
Well, don't kill the president.
No, that's what you're supposed to do. The president's supposed to fear the people. You guys forgotten this?
I mean, not death.
I don't know. Come get me. I paid my fucking taxes.
Maybe like like impeachment. I mean, not even. I mean, more than that. But
figuratively.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. There we go.
Allegedly, figuratively.
I mean,
it's that whole covering our tracks thing that we were talking about.
It's all
before.
the spectrum.
Yeah.
There's a spectrum of being a piece of shit dictator. Actually, they're all pieces of shit. Every single one of them forever. Even Carter. Sorry, they all fucking suck. They're politicians. They fuck someone over to get there.
Apologize.
Any person that wants to be in power must have their head smashed in with a rock. If you're on a deserted island with 10 people and one guy goes, all right, everybody, I'm in charge. Smash that dude's head in with a rock as quickly as you fucking can, because that guy's sick. Why are you in charge, bro? You don't know better than anybody fucking else.
I mean,
everyone together collectively can figure out how to survive maybe a week, but fuck you, bro.
There are like moments where like a leader is needed. Like, for instance, like of a kitchen, right? You need like a head chef. I mean, there's way to like deal with that, but you still need that. Or like
sure, but that's
team sports. You need like a coach or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Fair,
like,
but those are small examples.
Yeah, I mean, I
just like the idea of the island with a group of people, because that's actually about survival and like working together. Whereas like a kitchen is like there should be someone in charge or someone to dictate things.
I found the conch
shell.
Conch or conch?
You found the Paul Wall tape?
Conch. Yeah. So
again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, I kind of black out during these things and shit just flies out of my mouth.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what a conversation is. I remember Sam Harris was talking about like conversation and how like it's one of these weird things where your brain is literally thinking of what you're saying like right before you say it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're if you ever think about conversation, it's this weird thing where I'm not planning it like hours ahead. We're just doing it and we're reacting, and somehow it works. It's this weird
And I think that's why I like podcasting, like doing it, is because 1, it's high risk.
Right.
2, I have no fucking idea what I'm saying. And 3, again, I'm just making this up. I'm just holding fingers up. I'm counting and I have nothing. Yeah. I have no idea.
And then 3, there's something that's super important.
There's something there that I thought I planned this.
And that's when you take it to 4, you just go past the 3.
But I can bring that back to like activities like tattooing, graffiti, martial arts. Is like, I hit my head really fucking good when I was 13 years old. Like, changed my personality full on, like, whacked myself good, was in and out of consciousness all day, like, full on head injury.
Oh, shit.
It made me a crazy person. But I've, like, self-medicated with alcohol and drugs for a long time. And I'm, like, finally getting to a point where I'm, like, getting in control of that. But it's made me super self-reflective in a weird way. Because, like, I'm so erratic about my decisions. And, like, I used to climb on buildings in the Tenderloin.
Right.
And fucking paint dumb shit that looked like crap because it felt good. Like,
for sure.
I got to be really careful what I put my focus on, because next thing I know, I have a podcast that's 90 episodes deep. Whoops. Like, why did that? The world didn't need that. I'm just like, whatever Loren's focus goes on is like, that shit's going to get made.
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I talking about?
That's an awesome thing, right?
Sure.
I was just thinking about that today with like my personality, because I'm very similar in that way. Like, if I just decide to do something, I just do it, and I don't allow anyone to say I can't do it, or I just keep,
the more you tell me that I can't, the more I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm the
people told me
way.
in Santa Rosa, you'll never tattoo. It's not for you. And I was just like, oh, check me out, bro. Watch this.
Yeah.
And I went and did a bunch of really bad tattoos. I'm like, still here, guys. Still here. Tell me no again.
Right. Did you find that doing a podcast helped you like have conversations?
Definitely.
Like outside of the podcast realm?
It outlined how bad of a listener I can be.
Yeah.
And my mind goes so quickly. Like, you say something that makes me think of something, and then I'm talking over you, and you're giving me this look like, what's wrong with you? And then Sergio is like, why am I even here?
He said it, not me.
There is a lot that I've learned from listening to myself, and it's also helped me control conversations more with people. Like, I'll be at the bar with people, and I'll watch someone who's kind of meek sit back and try and interject, and I feel their energy of like wanting to speak.
Right.
And I'll straight up be like, hey, hold on a second, like, let our friend talk here.
Yeah.
Or people will start talking over other people, and I go, whoa, like, you've been doing that a while, like, let this person speak.
For sure.
Or let me talk over them.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you do, don't let Sergio talk.
Yeah. Just stomp on everything he says. But when you need some like technical art know-how, I'll be like, Sergio, please inform us.
You watch
I don't know.
have you guys watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia at all?
Seen it, yeah.
They've had a new season recently, and the lady D, she's like the female character, the main female character in it. A lot this season they'll have like these conversations, and she'll say something like really wise, and then they'll turn to her and they'll be like, D, we were just talking. Why don't you shut the fuck up? But it's hilarious, and that's what this made me think of. But yeah, I totally agree. When we first started this, I would listen back to every podcast, and I would notice that I could hear just myself thinking. Listen, you know what I mean? Like, I would listen to it and I could tell, like, oh yeah, I was totally listening or thinking in my own head instead of listening to the person, and then stuck on whatever I was thinking about, and the conversation's already moved on or and somewhere else, and I'm just like, and I'm gonna say this anyways now that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I saw myself doing that, and I've kind of tried to learn or tried to like just hold on to the idea that maybe what I'm thinking isn't as important, and maybe listening is more important right now.
For sure.
Says the guy that's sitting over here just blabbering out things.
No,
I'm totally out of practice, so that's the thing. Like, I've done 2 podcasts in the past 2 weeks. This would be my third, 2 of which I recorded. And I was like, watch myself just be a dick the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, just being an asshole.
To who?
I don't know. I was just like fucking verbal diarrheaing, like talking shit about ramen. Like, I'm making fun of myself on this episode because I did it last night. And I'm like kicking myself. Like, it's a local
ramen gauging.
Yeah, like, why the fuck? Like, no one cares about your Yelp review. Why are you being such an asshole? It's because I'm out of practice. I'm totally like.
And you know the issue is with that specific spot. I have the same issue where, like, if you've had something at a really like food at a really high level, whenever you get at anything other than that anymore, you're like, this is shit. Like
at the same place, you mean?
No, like if say the Portland spot or whatever you were talking about.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If you go there and it's like the best ramen, then you come here and this ramen's good, but you're like,
it's not Toshi's. Then you go to Toshi's, it's like going back and watching old episodes of Pete and Pete. Yeah. Just keep the memory, man. Yeah, they all suck. They're terrible.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other issue. You go back and you're like, well, actually, Ramen Beijing might be better than this.
Well, then you're just lost on Food Island. Like, I don't like either of them now. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Just not eat soup?
Yeah. Pick a different soup.
One of my favorite taquerias in Santa Rosa, I won't say who it is because I've done enough fucking reviewing, but
Molcajetes.
They're consistently inconsistent. So it keeps me coming back. Like sometimes the burrito is just like, oh my God. Like I'll go to the cook and be like, yo, best burrito I've ever had. And they're like, whatever, weirdo. And I'll go back and I'm like, oh, this is shit. And I'll be shit for like a week and I won't go for a bit and I'll go back and I'm like, this is the most amazing burrito ever. And it's just this like roller coaster ride.
Was it the same chef?
No, I don't know. But the food's just all over the place. But sometimes when they hit it, it's so goddamn good and just chasing the dragon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we love
the burrito's a metaphor for heroin.
So I'm a junkie. we crave variables. What's the word? We want a varying world. We want a varying. Right. If everything was awesome all the time, it would get boring.
It's it's the gambler inside of you.
Yes.
It's like if it happened every time, then
yes.
It's
the dopamine hit is inconsistent.
Right.
So I think that the guy who owns, I'm so in this dude's head. I'm like, every week and a half, he's like, MSG? No MSG. MSG, no MSG.
Oh, like he's purposefully making it shitty sometimes.
Yeah, totally. No, he's putting MSG in so I'm just eating my own blood and I'm like, yeah, yeah.
When it comes to restaurants, though, if a place makes it bad, like if I go to a place and then all of a sudden it's inconsistent, I won't go to there anymore. Me personally, I'm like,
it just works for me.
Yeah.
Like if your girlfriend or your wife's always nice to you, like, where's the excitement? What am I talking about? If your car starts every time, what fun is that?
Right.
What's a shitty theory? It's just full of holes.
You just talked yourself out of it. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense in kind of a weird way, though. It's like, yeah, like it's the whole, like, if you're happy, like it's like the rich kids always being sad, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like their life was too easy, so they have to find something to complain about where...
Sure, just get a fucking Oxycontin habit.
You need struggle to appreciate the good.
Yes.
Except for you're doing on these micro burrito levels. That's just next level shit.
Well, I mean, tattooing's the same way. Like there's days where like my machine in my like there's so many variables in tattooing, but like there's days where I'm like, oh my God, like fuck yes, I'm a god right now. Like this is amazing.
Right.
Obviously it's shit because it's me, but and then there's days where like nothing's working.
I literally hate when artists do that. I'm very guilty of the same, but whenever any other artist is like, it sucks, I'm like, it doesn't suck. You just, or horrible. We're just self-critics. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm also, I'm on a podcast talking about tattooing. Like, I don't want people to think that I think that I'm the shit.
Right, for sure.
I'm just a dude who got fucking really lucky and like fell into something and have an opportunity. That's it. Like, I just went to the fucking tattoo convention with the best people in the world, and I walked around like, oh, I'm a fucking bitch. Like, I'm a weenie.
I remember when I was young, I went to this live painting with David Cho and Nate Van Dyke, and Retina was there before Retina was who he is now, and someone else. And David Cho was there before he was David Cho as well, and before he was who he is now.
Before he was a millionaire.
Yeah, and I went and I watched them paint, and I was like, oh, like they just do the same shit I do. They just are doing it their way. Like, I don't know, like
maybe they're doing it more.
Seeing like people that are really talented do stuff, I just realized like, oh, like I have the same tools they have.
Yeah.
We're just kind of tackling it in different ways. And I don't know, that was like a big like revelation to me. I was like, oh shit. And then I just got shit-faced drunk on Jack Daniels and almost peed on a homeless guy.
Whoops.
Yeah, this is actually a funny story. Me and my best friend, we went to the show, and then I had to pee, And so I went to go pee into this bush, and out of the bush I hear like, "Please don't pee on me." And I was like,
poor guy. I'm sure it happened before.
Yeah, and like my eyes focused into the darkness, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "So sorry, man." I gave him the rest of the Jack Daniels. He was good. After that,
and then you saw him mouthing the words "cool dick."
He's like, "Thanks."
I was about to paint this fucking building back in my young graffiti days, and I'm like, I'm cool. I'm checking my back. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be super sick. And I fucking hit the cap one time, and some guy's like, like wakes up below me, and I'm like standing over a sleeping homeless dude, and he goes, no, man, I'm not a cop. And I was like, close enough. Like just eyes on me. And I fucking ran and got the fucking scared the living shit out of me.
Really? I always liked painting your homeless people.
Not that night. Not when you're standing over them and you realize there's someone that it's like
that's
acting like
bad.
treating him like a fucking doormat.
Yeah, it is what it is. I remember me and Birds painted once under this bridge, and there was this homeless guy sleeping there, and he like woke up and then like took pictures of us painting and sent them to his brother and was like, "Living the dream."
Tight.
And it was like we had this conversation with him. It was hilarious.
You saw yourself in Homeless Magazine?
Yeah. he was like texting his brother because he just is like he just travels like, he's like one of those kind of like, I don't know, homeless by choice people who are like, I'm just gonna hop on trains, go wherever it takes me, find a bridge, sleep under it, go somewhere else, see things. And so that was like, we were like his entertainment for the morning.
Look at these idiots.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, "Oh, this is cool."
I spent so much time under bridges when I was young.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Oh, this is where you could find porn magazines when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Best place to look.
Hobo porn.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So we would go under bridges to find weird shit, and then we started finding needles, and we're like, oh, it's one of those cool pens. And you're like, oh, wait, that's not a pen. Like, oh, fuck. And then you become a hypochondriac, and you convince yourself you have AIDS at like 9. True story.
You were a hypochondriac at 9?
Oh, yeah.
That's so crazy.
Pick up a dirty fucking homeless dude's needle and see how you feel about it for like the next year.
When I was 9, I was such a wild person.
Me too.
What
was your jam? Fire? You seem like a fire guy.
We lit stuff on fire. I mean, we did it all.
Same.
Yeah. We lit some. I lived like, my back fence was like, it was like back fence, and then Caltrains was like right there.
Okay.
And we used to try to derail the train.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We didn't understand.
You were a real bad kid.
We didn't understand what like that meant. We just thought it would be cool to derail a train.
You're like, what are consequences?
Yeah. So we used to put like like the railroad spikes. We used to put rows of them on the rails.
And they would probably just snap through all
ding,
those
ding,
motherfuckers.
Ding, ding. Yeah. But we would just... Yeah, the cops used to roll up on us because we would do stupid shit like that.
Hey, you kids, stop trying to kill everyone on the train.
They would try to scare us, like the whole like, I'm going to put you in jail. You want to go to jail? And like crying and stuff, all that good stuff. But yeah, we didn't understand. When you're a kid, you just have no concept of like mass killing a train of people. It's like, let's try to put a bed on the tracks.
Is there like a statute of limitations on terrorism?
Not cool, man. Not cool. I have to have a political purpose for what I'm doing.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, there's no message.
Be a good time.
There's no message to mine other than like it would be cool as a kid.
Very good point. Do you have a dictionary or something? Because you just gave the actual definition of terrorism.
Yeah. I got like 5 dictionary words just.
I thought you were giving me the thumb down, like you're up talking again.
Oh no.
Have people ever given you guys like hand signals when you're podcasting with them, and you're like, "Why are you giving me hand signals? Like this is my show."
Well, I'll tell them usually like if you pull away from your mic, I'll do. Sure. I'll point at the mic just to like.
I thought people would be like, give me like the wrap it up, and I'm like, excuse me, I do this shit for 3 hours.
Has anyone ever done that?
Yeah, there was a guy that was on one time. And he was like, you need to move on topics, and I was like,
what?
Do you pay me?
Right.
What do you think this is, dude?
Really?
It was weird. It was super weird.
It was like your first time meeting him?
No, he's a friend of mine. I've known him a long time. But he once the mic was on, like you were saying earlier, like he got super weird. And I was like, you said you wanted to do this. I don't care. I'm like,
that's interesting.
I don't have a job I'm going to lose that I'm aware of.
Did he notice it after he like the mics turned off? Was he like, oh, well, that was kind of weird?
I think that he thought he like super killed it.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, let's get this thing on the internet. It's super interesting.
Wow. That's crazy.
His name's Jared. Oh, okay. I'm kidding. I've created this habit of picking on Jared Powell on my podcast, and I'll go to work and he's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't, it's like a thing now. I don't know. You're just an easy target.
That's funny. I met Jared like 5 times, and then recently I think he just remembered me. Me and my wife have a theory that his face blindness.
I think he claims to have face blindness, but he also like is totally like tall guy, holier than thou. I don't know. Jared's a fucking dick.
Yeah, I don't know him that well, but I've like introduced myself a bunch of times, like, hey, I'm blah blah, and we were even like Facebook friends and stuff, and communicated that way. But then he was not long ago. He was like, hey, I'm Jared, and I'm like, yeah, I met you before. Like,
yeah, duh.
He felt sorry about it. I was like, all right.
I've been finding more and more that people's different like social awkwardnesses are varying and very different.
Yeah.
Like some people are like just assholes, like they're just dicks, and they like I'm like I give them the benefit of the doubt, like they have no other way of like having how to interact right now. Like,
right.
This is what they're doing their best. Or the person that's like overly nice, and you're like, why are you being so fucking nice? Like that's their way of dealing with people. Or sometimes people find that other people who are quiet, like too quiet, like Sergio, they might be being rude or something, but like that's just that person's way of like being around other people.
Yeah, I don't mind that stuff. I mean, maybe an asshole depending on how that plays out. But for the most part, awkward people I don't mind, and happy people I don't mind. Even assholes I don't really mind, as long as they're like a form of sarcasm also being added to that. Then I'm like, hell yeah.
Some people's sarcasm you can't read though. Like Jared's super sarcastic and he's really dry, and people
that's my favorite kind of sarcasm.
People really think that he's being an asshole, and he is. But why are we talking about Jared Powell? I'm like in love with him or something. But watching him interact with his clients sometimes, I'm like, you're such a dick. But I'm like, you're just trying to get through your day.
For sure.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah. The type of person I actually probably hate the most are like, you know, when people have like stories that they tell that they think are exciting or.
Yeah, me.
Or like, no, it's more like, I don't know. It's like if someone baked a cake over the weekend. It's like the
super mundane
40-year-old virgin, like where he's like, oh, I made a tuna salad over the weekend, and he was like, and the guy's like, cool, man. You know, it's like that whole like that thing always drives me the most insane. I'm like, I literally have to sit here and pretend I care, and I care none. I just want to be like, nah, not today.
Subject matter is important to me, but there are people who are good storytellers. Yeah. I love a good storyteller. Sure. And I try, like, when I'm telling a story that I think, and I watch I'm like, oh, this is going nowhere. Like, sorry, like, whoops. Like, being in a relationship with me probably sucks to, like, try my material on people. And they're just, like, my girlfriends are like, nah. Yeah. Like, sorry, dude. But if someone can, like, tell a story about making chicken salad or tuna salad or whatever, and, like, keep my interest.
That's true.
I love that shit.
Yeah. Right. One of our buddies, Monty, he has this story about flicking, I think, a fly or a bee off of his shoulder. But like the first time we heard it, we laughed so hard. And then when you realize, because my wife MJ, she loves that story, and she's always like, oh, he's always like crazy things. Like, nah, not really. He just like, he can make flicking a bee off of his shoulder an entire story that you love hearing.
I love it.
And it's just that. It's just being able to tell a good story.
Totally.
Which is
I awesome. Think there was like a skill, like hunter-gatherer time. There was your hunter, your gatherer, and then there was a person that was entertaining. That wasn't a dick about it. Like, because when the sun goes down and everyone's hanging around the fire, like if there's a person that can tell stories, like that person's valuable.
I don't know why, but when you said that, I just imagined like a hunter, a gatherer, and just some guy like tap dancing.
Me, like, please don't kill me.
Yeah. It's like,
please share that fucking meat, please.
Yeah, the entertainer just all of a sudden is like, I just think of all these stupid entertainer like cliche. I don't know, whatever. But
It's just me in every form. With my marionette I made out of sticks.
Yeah. And then there's the artist making like the buffaloes in the cave, and then there's the asshole artist who's like, I make these red hands. It's like, I'm the first to do it. And you're like, fuck you, man. I'm over here drawing buffaloes and lions. He's like, I don't know. I kind of like the red hand guy over there.
And there's like some other dude sleeping in the corner. He's like, living the dream.
Yeah. And then the leader just got his head bashed in with a rock because he was
the first person says they want to be in charge. You kill him.
Yeah. Murder that motherfucker.
Get him.
I like it.
This is one of my favorite moments. Like, this is your house. This is your domain. But right now we're existing, and there's no one's in charge.
Right.
I didn't walk in the door, and you're like, all right, here's some ground rules. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I know, it's your fucking house. Like,
yeah, when you talk to me, look at me in the eyes.
Now I feel weird about making eye contact. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you go out to like you go to a deli. People stand in line. They order themselves in line. If someone's a dick, normally someone will speak up.
Right.
And there's a way that we engage in society by being polite, and it's like common courtesy stuff, and we check each other a little bit. And I explain that to people when I talk about anarchy. I'm like, if I start attacking you, or someone comes in and starts attacking us, what are you going to do? Like, well, I call the cops. Well, we all know average fucking response time is 20 minutes.
Right.
So we're existing in anarchy at all fucking times.
Right.
The state is not
controlled
here.
Chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's controlled by us, though.
Right.
And I'm not like, oh, we need to fucking live in anarchy, but it's just fun to think about. And like, everyone's like, obviously the lights turn on, the water turns on. Like, there's stoplights, things like that are put in place by the state.
Right.
But when it comes to like people interacting with each other, a lot of it is people just being nice to each other and being like, I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a grandma. Like, I would want people to treat my family members and my friends like, you know what I'm saying? Like, treat others how you want to be treated. But also, everyone has other people they care about. Now, when you have fucking mentally disabled people and they're the fucking X factor in the situation,
right? Wild
that's when
cards.
people like lawyers step in to fucking head kick motherfuckers.
Hell yeah!
Cool rant, Loren. What the hell are you talking about?
Random question about that. How do you feel about people that cut in line?
I comment on it, but I don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normally like old dudes that do that, like old guys. They're like, I have to pee. I just assume that like this guy probably just shit his pants. He needs to get out of here with his fucking licorice that he doesn't need. And I'll just like, but I'll say some shit like tight style, bro. Like, super appreciate your style. Like, really cool.
That's my move too.
And people will look at me like, oh my God, what an asshole. Are you going to do anything about a tattoo guy? And I'm like, no. What am I going to do? Assault this person?
I don't know why, but like when people cut in line, it's like the most rageful I get nowadays.
Really?
I'm like, why do you think that's okay? Like, I don't know. It's this weird thing that happens with me. Like, you don't respect my time.
Right.
I don't know. It's this weird. When I was
Ultimate
younger, I used to
man.
not feel that way. I would be the one cutting in line.
You cut in line when you were a young man?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe
you're at the water park and you're like...
I was never at a water park. Never been.
You were at the DMV.
Been there. It's that... I don't know. There's this weird, like, you just are, I don't know. It's weird because I don't follow that many. Like, I break some rules. I feel like everyone kind of does, right? Everyone kind of speeds a little bit. Everyone does.
Yeah.
And
totally. We're Americans. We're out of our goddamn minds.
We're not that bad. There are people that literally live in anarchy because this whole, like, stop at stoplights thing doesn't like work, you know. It's like
you talking like mopeds in Thailand style.
Yeah, or like, even I got a buddy who's Russian, and he's like, yeah, when it's traffic time, like, you go wherever you fit. Like, the side of the road is your road now. Like, you don't have to follow the rules when there's traffic. It's like, what? I mean, maybe things have changed, but this has been a couple of years, but that's how he explained it to me. I was like, that's crazy.
People don't drive Hellcats in Russia.
What are Hellcats?
It's a car that has like 700 plus horsepower.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is, like,
Thailand, they're driving mopeds and like small engined vehicles.
But that's even
they don't have semis on the roads. I mean, I'm sure they do, but not like we do.
Right.
And there's not 350 million of them, and they all have their own fucking car.
I'm going to Thailand in 2 weeks.
I hear it's wild.
I can't wait.
I hear it's like veins, like the way traffic. I've never been, but it's been told to me by people who've spent time there.
Definitely driving in
It's like a
cars
cardiovascular system of just movement of people.
Yeah.
And if you start swerving around and shit, people will yell at you like, "Yo, dude, like just go with the current."
Right.
I mean, we have to have red lights here because Americans are go, go, go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people are so tuned up on the road because they're trying to get to whatever. They have a fourth kid. And I'm like, not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe wrap it up for once in your life.
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff, exactly. Geoff.
Yeah.
I've been commuting back to Oakland. I used to drive down there all the time, and I'm doing it again. And like seeing people on the road, I'm like, man, people are fucking wild.
I know.
You know what I'm seeing all the time now that I'm not used to seeing is, and I thought it was an Oakland thing. It's a car that's dirty and beat up with no license plate that's like doubling everyone else's speed. Just like flying. And I've seen it all the time down there. Now I'm starting to see it up here.
They're probably driving like they stole it. They're probably joyriding.
Could be. But I'm seeing it up here now. Like on the 101 in Santa Rosa. I'm like, there's another one of those like fucking dirty ass ghost cars. Like, what are you? I'm so curious. Like, are you moving drugs? Are you on drugs? Both. Are you late? Are you like, I'm so late, I'm taking my license plate off and I'm just going to jam. Like, is that something I should try doing? Like, should I just take my license plate off and like fucking just step on the gas? I mean, fuck traffic. Right?
They don't have a license plate?
No, that's the thing that grabs my eye is they're like, because I'm like a super cop. I'm like, what's your license plate? Are you cutting in line, bro? Tight style.
Really?
Yeah, I see it all the time, man. It's super trippy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but
I think that Americans are totally insane.
I mean, yeah, but
we're the descendants of people who came here because where we were wasn't as tight.
Speak for yourself.
What?
No.
Just fart in the mic, dude. So, Sergio.
My turn to speak?
No, Sergio.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Back in your kennel. We're talking. Sorry. It's something that I heard Dan Carlin say on his podcast. Is that Americans are the descendants of people.
Hardcore history? Or
hardcore history. Or it might have been common sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was actually talking about gun control. But his point was that we're all the descendants of people who are wild enough to leave a spot to come here to find a better life. All of us are the descendants of essentially like wild-ass people.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think is tight. Like, my family came from fucking Russia. They're like, this communist situation is getting a little weird. Let's leave everything and go to Canada. Like, I wouldn't do that. But like, oh, here come the communists marching down the street. But this is where I'm from. I'm not going to do anything about it. And they just fucking walk all over me.
Yeah.
I like thinking about America that way. That like everyone here, it comes from someone that came from somewhere else to find something that was better.
Yeah.
In their mind, to find something better.
Mm-hmm.
And then put those people in traffic.
Except for the natives.
Right. But they came here too.
Yeah, in a weird way they did.
Yeah, but it's just
shitload.
They were here way before my Russian ass was here.
Yeah, yeah. They came
they walked.
Yeah. I guess they're the craziest.
Yeah, most motherfucking
across
definitely.
Snow.
They're fucking nearest. Some of the I've read that like they're more related to like Siberians than fucking like South American people. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I'm an idiot.
Did you hear Neil deGrasse Tyson? He was on Joe Rogan. He said that
I can't listen to that guy.
Really? I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I find him arrogant and annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't dislike. I'm just more of a Sagan fan. I just prefer.
Yeah.
Sorry. He was talking about stuff on the road.
He was talking about how they think that the genetics of like the native people that came over the Great Barrier Reef. What is it? Not the
Bering Strait.
Bering Strait.
There you go. The Great Barrier Reef.
I did the same thing before, but that there's like some like 6 families did it only. So like all the natives are like branched off of like these 6 families.
Wow.
It's like, that's nuts.
And we're pretending like the Donner Party are tight.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah, bro.
They
hit one winter.
Yeah, really. For reals. And they ate each other. I mean,
well, that's where eating butt came from. It's a California thing.
Eat the booty. Did they say that when they
It was actually summer, like, fuck it, let's just eat ass. Yeah. They were just pervs. They actually didn't die. They're like, well, let's spruce up the story and make it a tragedy.
Yeah.
God damn it. And California pornography was born.
Is that where did they die?
Donner Pass,
near
dude.
Tahoe. Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yep.
God.
You can go fucking snowboarding up there now.
It's weird how like one family dies and it's like they've like lived in this whole like history of telling their story for this long, but I mean, plenty of people died trying to go somewhere, right? I mean,
sure.
Like Mexicans trying to cross the border die all the time.
Sure.
It's weird.
But I think we attach ourselves to that story because they were eating butt.
Yeah, that's true.
How can you not have a restaurant at Donner Pass that's called Butt?
Yeah, booty eater. Dang.
Well, this is where we're at.
Yeah. So Sergio, if I die and we're in winter, are you eating me?
There's a lot of you to eat. I'll share the wealth.
I've done this thought experiment. I think I'd take my own life before I ate a human.
Really?
Yeah. What's the point of fucking living if you're eating one of your best friends? I am assuming you guys are really good friends.
But
maybe you guys are just business partners. I'm gonna stop assuming things.
Right when we end this, we're like those radio broadcasters that hate each other.
Exactly.
Totally. It's like, I get this fucking mic out of my face.
You owe me money, motherfucker.
You talk too much this time, Sergio. I said 20 words.
Remember at the end of Brian Redband on Rogan?
What about him?
I don't remember it that well.
Dude, it was awkward. Like, Rogan would like chew him out on the air, and I was like, dude, just fucking for sure fire this guy. Like, it's getting weird. Anyway, if I was in a situation where, like, if we were on an island, I hardly know you dudes, and if both you guys went down, I'd be like, I'm going down too. Like, I'm not gonna fucking eat a god.
You wouldn't Wilson it? Like
with the beach ball?
Yeah, you wouldn't just go crazy for a while.
Was he eating people?
No. I mean, what I'm saying is, like, you wouldn't just like push us out into the ocean or bury us in the ground and then just go crazy for a while.
Oh yeah, I could get down with that. But I mean, I think if you start eating people, you're gonna go crazy anyway. I don't have that much of a survival instinct to eat human.
Yeah.
I'm cool off it. I have a friend who's like, I'd eat a human immediately. I'm like, I do not want to hang out with you anymore.
Just like day one. He's just like killing and eating people. It's like, dude.
It was like fucking 0.3 fucking magnitude earthquake.
There are 7 goats over there.
He's like, goat, gross.
Yeah, gamey, too gamey.
I've heard that goat's the #1 eaten meat on the planet.
Yeah, I've heard
I thought
the
it
same
was
thing.
fish. No? I thought fish
maybe it's land. See, here I am just spouting off facts again.
Maybe that's what they mean. Yeah.
Everyone, right when I said fish, you were like, oh, that does sound right.
Bailing on this.
Yeah, maybe it is a mammal.
I mean, it might be like a land dwelling.
Huh,
it's probably people.
Yeah.
You guys want to eat some people?
Yeah.
Let's go to that butt restaurant.
You have any more cool personality questions? I love stuff like that.
Would you rather be invisible or fly? Superpower.
Invisible, I'd probably get hit by a car pretty quick. Flying, I'm super clumsy and I don't really like flying, so neither.
No, I mean, you have to choose one.
Have to choose one?
Think of the positive rather than negative, maybe.
I think in both circumstances, remember the X-Files where they got wishes and then Mulder like wrote out his wishes like a lawyer would, and then he woke up the next day and everyone on the planet was gone and he was like, fuck. Like, that was the whole point, is like every wish just like ends up being shitty no matter what.
Oh,
so when I think about flying or being invisible, I'm like, I'm gonna end up dying. Like, I'm gonna get like, oh, I'm invisible. I'm gonna go in the ladies' room and like just be naked in the ladies' room, and then like step outside and get hit by a bus or some shit because they can't fucking see me. Or like flying, being like, like I'm not a bird. Like, if I could just all of a sudden fly tomorrow at 33 years old, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna hit like power line or some shit. Like, birds are like, yo, stay away from the black line on the sky,
right?
Because that shit's gonna zap your ass. That's what happened to your grandfather and your great grandfather.
Yeah. I mean, they don't you know, like murmurations, like when they're like they all move as one.
Yeah. Okay.
Like somehow they magically can do that without stumbling into each other. They've got some magic.
Yeah, there's something going on. They're picking up on some sort of wave that we don't see.
If we had flight, we would just die probably. I give it like a couple weeks.
Okay, I'll pick one, and then I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to do flight.
I'm invisibility.
Yeah? For real?
Yeah, for sure.
You're just trying to jerk off all the time.
No, I just want to be rich and go wherever I want.
Oh, he thinks he's going to be stealing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Right
I'm going to rob all the
I'm going to get all that Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yoink.
I'm going to be sitting in like meetings at like Apple and just be like, you guys are going to do what? Okay. Now time to buy stock. But you guys are...
And you get closed in the door again.
Get what?
I don't know, like a door will get closed on you. You're like, why won't this door close? You're like, ow, ow. And they're like, this is an invisible guy in here. Bang, 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 bang.
They have guns. I'm sure. I'm talking about Silicon Valley. There's no guns in the Silicon Valley.
Huh. Why don't they ever get robbed?
I don't know.
Those motherfuckers got guns.
They got money in the cloud.
They hire people who have guns.
Yeah.
Sergio, fly, or jerk off time?
Jerk off time.
All right. So you never have to eat, but you can if you want to. Or you never have to sleep, but you can if you want to. Which one would you pick?
Ooh. If I don't God, that's tricky. Only
you never have to sleep. You don't.
Is there
get
any
tired.
side effect? So like like going crazy from not sleeping. Does that happen?
But you can if you want to. Like if you feel like you're going crazy, you just go to sleep.
Right. But what I'm saying is
you have to go to sleep though, right?
Like for instance, if
I guess so.
If you can't eat, I mean, if you don't have to eat ever, that means that you wouldn't starve. Like you wouldn't get the side effect of starving to death, right?
I guess you wouldn't feel hunger.
So, but you wouldn't starve to death, would you? Or
no.
Would you? So I'm assuming.
I have not thought about this enough. Just like you didn't think about the whole death thing with mine. Like, I'm going to get hit by a bus. You know I'm an idiot, right? Like, I want to be walking around invisible with like a reflective vest on.
Yeah, I'm like the one who's trying to break down all of the rules. Like, I'm like, well, we got to figure this out. Like,
you're thinking like a lawyer.
It's like for the sleeping, all I would know is if I would go crazy or not. If not, then I would 100% do that one.
Well...
Just because I would be way more productive.
I think it would take some getting used to. So, like, you guys are artists. You don't have to sleep. Right. You guys are going to fucking paint all night and then go to work. So you're getting double the work done, essentially. So I think you guys would use that for a while. But, like, day 3, you'd be like, okay, this is getting fucking weird. I'm going to sleep tonight. And then you'd get up and you'd probably stay up for 4 days. And you're like, you probably get used to it. And you probably would just never sleep ever again.
But do I go crazy?
Yeah, well, duh. That's what being human is. You ever talk to an 80-year-old? But what I'm saying, they're out of their fucking minds.
I mean, but like from like not sleeping. I mean, not from just being crazy, but do I go crazy from not sleeping?
I'm going to say that you do.
But that's not fair because starvation, you don't starve to death from not eating.
But your body has the same responses to not eating as it does to not sleeping.
What do you mean?
I mean, you can fast, but after a while, your body's going to be like, yo, dude. Go get some of that booty.
And eat it.
Go up to Booties and fucking Donner Pass.
Yeah.
Sergio, you seem like you have an answer here.
I'd go with food.
Not eating?
Or I guess, yeah. Well, yeah.
The way I look at it is you can save money save time and save money by not eating, but you can if you want to.
Yeah.
Eat like once a week and go eat some fucking gnarly shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can make more money by not having to sleep
sure.
and working all the time. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But in both situations, you just end up going crazy.
See, I don't want the crazy part. What if you take crazy out of the scenario, then I'm like, oh yeah, I would not sleep. I would.
This is your fantasy. You're the one that threw going crazy in here.
Okay. We don't go crazy. Okay. I've decided.
Cool. You're a scientist. You listened to Sam Harris like 4 times. You know what you're talking about. You understand the brain.
Exactly. So, yeah, I would definitely choose. Would you choose the not eating?
Yeah, not eating.
Why would you do that?
Well, if I could eat just for pleasure, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't I just do that? It'd just be like a drug.
You can do that now. No one's stopping you from eating for pleasure.
Well, no, but you also have
Sergio,
to eat.
You might.
You also still have to eat
a food
for
addiction.
sustenance. Well, yeah, that's true. But
you can do 2 birds, 1 stone thing. Like
what do you mean?
Make sure it has like healthy things, but also delicious.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to eat boiled broccoli and chicken breast every day to get sustenance.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying you can make good food that's healthy.
But it still costs money and it takes time.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that, but I don't know. For me, it's like I enjoy eating food. Why would I choose to not do that when I would rather have, like, I always want more time in the day. I wish I had another 8 hours and boom, magically I could have another 8 hours. Then I would be like, fuck yeah, I could be so much more productive.
Mm-hmm.
I just ended up getting a third job of painting or,
right. You just get things done, and you'd probably, I think that eventually down the road, you probably would just end up just sleeping and eating normally because you probably would just feel weird.
Socially sleep and socially eat.
Socially sleep.
I like being awake when no one's awake. That's like
That's when my brain comes alive for sure. Totally. I get my best work done when I'm fed and slept and rested at night. Good luck making that happen. Like being rested at night, like I've lived a nocturnal life most of my life, and it's not conducive to being a normal person at all.
Yeah, I sleep normal hours, but I hate it.
Yeah.
I wish I could just be awake all hours of the night.
It's a pretty big, huge waste of time.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you ever like think about your dreams, and do you guys dream first of all? And do you ever like try and pull inspiration from things that you dream about?
I used to very little bit, but not anymore. There was this funny meme I just saw recently about kind of this thing where it was like someone saying like, holy shit, that dream was amazing. It was like 5 minutes later. It was like, what the fuck was that dream or something? Or like, what dream? Or,
totally.
Yeah.
But it's that. It's like dreams are always like fleeting for me. So
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
They say if you write them down, you can retain them better.
But they always seem like nonsense when I do retain them.
It's mostly imagery. Like so this is something that I finally got to a point here. Sergio, you answer the question first. I asked you a question and then now I'm already talking over it.
I have before, but it's mostly actually in between dreaming and being awake, where my brain is still moving really fast, so I can pull out a lot of imagery from it and I can retain it at the same time. But that doesn't really happen that often anymore.
Yeah. For me, I will see stuff in a dream or hear stuff in a dream or think of stuff in a dream or see someone else do something and I'll be like, man, I wish I thought of that. Happens all the fucking time. And I finally got to a point where I wake up and I'm like, why are you self-doubting yourself all the fucking time? That was your dream. That's your idea. I saw Tom Cruise wearing a shirt and I was like, fuck, that's a dope shirt. I wish I thought of that. And then I drew it out and I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, that's the one time I ever like created art from a dream was I saw like this thing.
You saw Tom Cruise too?
Yeah, I saw Tom Cruise and then he had this awesome t-shirt. I actually saw like a freight train and it had like artwork on it. And I was like, oh, I wish I painted that. And then I woke up and I was like, I should paint that. And then I wasn't really happy. It was like way better in the dream. It was like,
that's kind of how it is though. Yeah. But it's funny how when you're in your dream, you're like, I wish I thought of that. And it's you creating this whole simulation in your fucking mind. Dreaming is a fucking trip, man.
It is a weird thing.
Super weird. Yeah. People who don't dream, I'm like, you're probably better off.
Really?
Probably.
I mean, it depends. I have sometimes I have these like really shitty dreams and I'm like, I wake up and I'm fucking miserable. I'm like, I don't want to be.
Totally.
Like, I don't know. I've died in my dreams. I think I might have talked about this before.
I've died in a dream.
Oh, yeah.
And I woke up and I was like miserable.
Yeah.
I saw I floated above my body.
And
I was like, well, I'm dead. Like, no one will ever see me again. And like, and I was like,
and I'm still thinking.
Yeah. And I was like going through all this, like, I don't get to say bye to anyone. And then I was like, I woke up and I was like, that was miserable. It was
Been
like
there, dude.
Yeah.
I had that dream when I was under 10 and it was like fucking earth shattering.
God, you're when you were 9, you were just going through some shit, huh?
Yeah, but my life wasn't that bad. It was like, I don't know, I have a super active brain, and then I whacked it on the ground real good, and I'm just like, wow, let's fuck shit up. Wow. Yeah. Let's talk into the internet. Like that's not going to ruin my life.
I mean, has it? I'm sure it's been good.
Yeah, who cares? We're not here for long. We're here for a good time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had the whole death dream, and that was I'll never forget that shit. It was super weird. Like feeling the white of your vision coming in. You're like, oh, I'm fucking dying. Oh, like I was a kid, so I'm like, oh, where's my mom? And like now you're dead, and you're like, well, I'm dead now.
Shit, I was an adult. Like, where's my mom?
For sure, we all are going to be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're long gone when we go.
Hopefully.
That's the plan usually.
Yeah, that's the rule.
So do you guys want to talk about
darkish shit? Well, we do have these 2 questions that Sergio asked at the end of the podcast.
Perfect.
Squeeze them in right there.
Can I go pee for a half an hour? No, I'm kidding.
So do you have a top 5 dead or alive artists?
Oh, fuck. Jackson Pollock, Banksy.
Son of a bitch.
No, Albrecht Dürer is my number one.
That one tattoo artist you showed us earlier, something Christ or whatever.
Oh yeah, Auto Christ for sure. Hit me up, bro. If your shop's hiring, I'd love to fucking throw a bomb in that place. I'm just kidding. You probably scratch out of your fucking house. Albrecht Dürer. Fuck. I was really into Alexander Calder when I was a kid. He did like the mobile things, but he did portraits of people with wire.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like my art school people.
Sure.
Because I used to study art when I was young.
Sure.
But then when it comes to tattooing, T-Day for sure. Just hung out with him this weekend. Like I'd get tattooed and fucking hang out with he actually made this shirt too. I was wearing it at the convention. And I was like, I need to take this off. I was holding his prints, had a tattoo, and I'm like, remember me, guy? Huh? So T-Day, Teide tattoo on Instagram. He's
nice.
Fucking awesome. Just way out there. And I got to pick his brain. I'm like, did you have an apprenticeship? And he was like, no. And I was like, tight. And I'm like, did you study art? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, super tight. And yeah, he probably went to school for fucking free too, because he's European, and that dude just travels the world doing tattoos.
That's awesome.
And he tells people no. He was like, yeah, I saw your boy in Toronto. He wanted a fucking balloon. I told him no, and I gave him a fucking gorilla. And I was like, sick. That's awesome. Fuck him. He can. I can't. And I'm like, oh, you want some stuff off your phone? Right on. I have a PG&E bill to pay. Albrecht Dürer, Calder, T-Day. I got 2 more. I get 5, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm going to have to go
we're right here.
with my sister, Michaela Butchart, for sure, because I wouldn't be doing this shit without her.
That's awesome.
Right on.
Her shit's super tight. Gan used to be my favorite artist, but she's my girlfriend now. And it would be super whack if I picked my sister and my girlfriend. But shout out to Gandalf.
And your mom. You're like, and mom.
And mom, because she made this. Boom. Mic drop. Number the 5th. Fuck. Can I ditch Calder? So I can have 2 again and just sound smart?
Sure.
Fuck. Alive, dead, art. Everyone sucks.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, you guys don't suck.
Thank you.
Because you're in front of me. I'm just kidding. Fucking goddamn it. I'm just going to say Mike Giant because he's huge inspiration coming up. I bit that dude's shit for so goddamn long.
Yeah, he's cool.
I met him one time. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Huge hand. My little tiny little white boy hand just disappeared. I was like, holy fuck, you're a giant. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, super cool guy.
Really nice.
Nice. Yeah.
And then the last question is, what would you do with David Cho money?
Give his money back? I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't have to be his money.
Buy property. Enough property where I could shoot firearms and no one can say shit. Probably not in California. Make a friend who can fly a helicopter. And
make a friend.
Probably keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I probably wouldn't change much. I would try and hide the fact that I had money because people change and you have money.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely still tattoo. But I'd tell people no, which means I probably wouldn't tattoo much.
You do the gorilla instead of balloon thing then?
Gorillas are hard, man.
What would you do instead of balloon? If someone comes and says
daggers,
balloon.
bro, all day. As many daggers as possible. I saw a drawing at the convention because everyone puts out their little line drawings. It was like a 3/4 turned eagle with its back to the viewer, and it has no head, and it's like a chalice, like a cup, and inside of that is just a bunch of daggers. And I was like, perfect drawing. That is fucking perfect. And I kept trying to like make eye contact with the dude, like, yo, bro, like this is the best thing I've ever seen. And he was just like Australian as fuck. And was just like, yeah, whatever, nerd. So yeah, I would do exactly what I'm doing, buy property, and then fucking
fly around in helicopters.
My friend's helicopter. I ain't paying for that fuel.
Why helicopter?
I don't know.
Why not like a private jet or something? I don't know.
Because you don't need an airport.
I mean, Santa Rosa Airport's not too far.
Yeah, but then we have to drive here. I could just touch down with Jeff, my fucking helicopter friend pilot, with all his kids, and just land in your cul-de-sac right here.
I just always feel like helicopters are sketchy. I don't know why, but they always seem like they're the ones that are like...
Headline reads, Santa Rosa man inherits David Cho money, immediately dies in helicopter accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing me, though, I probably would think about it too much and be like, I'm not getting in that helicopter.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Santa Rosa man lands on island with buddy, eats booty one weekend. Crashes on island, eats booty one weekend.
Santa Rosa man opens restaurant with David Cho money, goes bankrupt. It was called Booties. So who are your top 5 artists? Has anyone ever asked you guys that?
We did it on the episode.
I don't know. It's fucking tough. I got like Rockwell and I don't remember.
Sam Rockwell? Right on.
Who's Sam Rockwell?
Stupid joke, dude.
The actor.
I'm horrible on names, so I'm like, no idea who that's my other issue. I'm like,
Pete, dude. Pit Stain.
Wait, what?
Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell was on Pete and Pete.
I don't even know what Pete and Pete is.
Yeah, he's Pit Stain.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Or maybe he was Open Face.
From Nickelodeon.
Show I didn't have cable.
I referenced Stum Ship from before my accident.
Well, literally everything that happened in cable when I was a kid, I'm like, it's just like when people talk about what's the Good Burger or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
that
always
was
like,
Nickelodeon as well.
Never saw it.
All that, dude.
Yeah. All that stuff is like not a part of my childhood.
You didn't watch TV?
No, I mean, we just didn't have cable.
Gotcha.
I watched like TJF was like the one that and like Saturday morning cartoons. But other than that, we were just wild. We were like out trying to build forts and derail trains when we were kids.
Not terrorism.
Not just for joy. Just for joy.
So we have Rockwell, and I immediately stomped on you.
Like Gustav Clement. I just like rewrote this. Like I went through like all the artists and was like, all right, I need to like put down a for sure 5 because we ask every guest.
Well, it can change.
I think like Mark English, I'm really hyped on right now. And Ewan
Uglo?
Ewan
McGregor?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. Sam Rockwell, Ewan McGregor, all that.
Yeah. And then I said Gustav earlier, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I always have like a soft spot for Barry McGee.
Yeah.
It's like my like why I kind of like probably went the artistic route through graffiti rather than like just trying to cause pure anarchy or something like that.
So boring though.
What?
Great hand style. So boring.
You think so?
Yeah, just faces over and over again.
I love
Says the guy that just wants to draw daggers over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It just hits me in a good spot.
David Cho money.
Me, David Cho money. Pretty much same thing. Buy property. Just quit my day job and paint and
make cool
probably
shit.
move closer to the city maybe or into a bigger city.
He becomes a Marinite that fast.
No, I'd probably move south of the city. If I could move back to East Walltoe, I love that city.
Paul Walltoe.
East Paul Walltoe.
Sergio.
Let's see, top 5. Muka number 1. Clint is up there. Sargent probably for painting. Let's see, that's 4. Let's see. Think of some living artists. It's not gonna work this time. Let's see.
Who the fuck is Joshua Lawyer? Why does he keep saying that?
He's an actor.
Have you seen There Is No Blood for Old Men?
There is no blood for old men.
Yeah.
Is that your like gay vampire movie?
There's no country for old men, and there will be blood all into one. It's just some genius actor. Like,
Yeah.
There will be no blood for old men.
There will be
7.
Daniel Day Lawyer. Let's see. 2 more artists.
I've been
I thought it was
working
one
as
more.
a podcaster this whole time, just to get into the role of my next role
Roll of a
as a
lifetime.
podcaster.
Oh, you're method acting.
Yeah. I'm not actually doing this podcast for podcast sake.
I hope we're really not recording.
Yeah, this has all been a lie.
Yeah. Way over time.
Sorry, Sergio.
Will you guys have a time limit?
Huh? Well, we usually
No.
do 2 hours, but it can go over.
Yeah,
We'll do as long as
it just depends. If
lets
it's
us.
easy, we can go over. If it's like pulling teeth, and it's like, and 2 hours, we made it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Let's see. I
Yeah,
got-
big shouts out to Libsyn.
Yeah.
For sure. Sponsor fucking Waiting to Dry podcast.
Right. Give us a free month, please.
yeah.
Let's see. I still got 2 more artists to pick. I'll just throw what I did in the first time I answered it. Kwang Ho and Gil Elvgren. And then David Cho money gets buy studios or build studios wherever I want, have them all over the world maybe, and then spend a bunch of money making crazy elaborate setups that I could paint from life.
Here's
Sweet.
the question: If you guys had David Cho money, do you want to pass that inheritance on to someone, or do you want your last check to bounce?
Last check to bounce.
When you have money like that, it's really easy to meet people who know how to make more money.
Mhm.
So if you have $100 million,
Right.
you make a friend that's like, yo, let's turn that into 400 million.
Right.
And then you can fucking fix the, like, I liked how all of us were honest and selfish.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, buy property, fuck off. That's
Oh,
it.
for
sure.
That's it. I thought you
We've
were like,
had
I was like,
people that are
build
very-
studios. Are you just say art students?
Huh?
You just say art students, and you're like, build studios for myself all over the world to see cool shit. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I'll let my friends borrow them when I'm not there.
Perfect.
That's the most altruistic part of it.
yeah,
I mean-
it'd be interesting to see what kind of friends you have after you have $100 million.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit.
yeah, not by their choice, but by yours.
Like, why is every window barred?
Yeah,
It's because
Yeah.
you live here now.
there's no guy that has $100 million who says like that their old friends changed. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
there's no 100 million. Like, man, my old friends really changed.
Right.
It's always.
Oh, yeah.
the guy that chose to. I don't know. Whatever.
Speaking of David Cho, though, he's another person that kind of got Me Too'd on the internet. And
Oh, did he?
he's, yeah,
Oh, because of the...
the story he told on his podcast.
Yeah, but he made that up, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he talked about it on David Chang's podcast, that it was just a bit that he did.
About what?
He basically said that...
I haven't heard that, but he's definitely still paying for. Like, he did a mural in New York a couple of years, 2 years ago, and it got fire hydrant, and like people fucking hate that guy in the art world now. I think
wow.
I think your girl Swoon actually has a lot to say about David Cho.
Oh, really?
I think I might
I
be
don't know.
wrong. I think that she's been pretty critical of him.
Mhm.
But even if the thing is, he's making jokes about a rapey situation, or some people might say actual rape,
Yeah.
and he is like, from what I understood, like
He told it like a true story, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. And it's like, whether you're joking or not, like artistic license, where does that end? I don't fucking know. But what's interesting about that episode, I went back and listened to it. I'm going to pretend like I forgot this porn star's name to make myself sound better, but her name's Asa Akira.
Okay.
Yeah.
She checked him like in the moment, like, whoa, dude. Like, if you go back, have you guys listened to it recently?
I've never heard
No, I
it.
haven't went back to
She
listen.
calls him out immediately. And she's like, what you're
Yeah,
saying
everybody
is
in
not
the room
fucking
was
cool,
like,
man.
what are you doing? What are you talking
So
about? Yeah.
my understanding and things that I've read, and now that I'm hearing that he made it up, like I might not know
Well,
what
that's
I'm
what he
talking
said.
about.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's covering his tracks at this point, too.
Well, the thing is, like, like he was like, how do I recover from this? Like I've gone to.
He's got David Cho money. He's just
right, but he also wants to still be considered someone that's important in the art world.
Yeah,
he defamed his own character.
Yeah,
but he's like, what do you want? You got like he went to fucking sex addict classes and shit, and was like, and he tried to like find retribution, and it just doesn't exist. Like how do we punish people and then be like, all right, you're good? And then you talk to some people and they're like, they're never good, and I'm like, well, that's okay, I can understand that perspective, but like where do we go from the like witch hunt, finding the witch, burning the witch, and it's like on to the next one? It's like people are people. Like people are allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Sam Harris to give me that answer.
Yeah, I guess these aren't mistakes though. But people are doing shit to other people, and I get, that's not necessarily a mistake. I don't know. I'm still working on this one in my mind.
Yeah, Sam Harris has been kind of like asking his guests a lot recently about that question about like how much is a legitimate apology worth? And he's like trying to figure this out himself, and he's a way smarter person than I am. So I'm like, I would love to hear your answer when you figure that out, because
Sam Harris is super fucking smart, but I feel like sometimes he's so smart, he's so zoomed in, that I think the perspective of people like us are important because. Sorry, I'm gonna speak for you guys. We're dumb as fuck, and sometimes like it takes the idiot in the room to kind of be like, you guys didn't like, you're overthinking something, right? Like, and Sam Harris thinks so deeply about shit. That guy goes up on the deep end and shit. I'm like, dude, zoom out, like chill. It's fucking fine.
I love
like all
Sam
his
Harris.
obsession with Twitter.
We're talking about like God here.
Well, you believe in God now? You got another hour?
My God believes in no God, by the way.
Tight. That's a great Sam Harris shirt.
Yeah, holy shit.
I had to stop listening to his show. It would just bum me out.
I'm a big fan.
The second I hear his intro music, I'm like, well, I want to kill myself now.
He's got to like change that for sure.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, for sure, chill, dude. Yeah. It's not that
for
big
sure,
of a deal.
chill.
I won't eat any more of your guys' time.
Yeah.
I've got a bag full of beer, so if you want me to get hammered and say more dumb shit about things I don't know.
No, you've said enough.
Did I say a beer full of bag?
No, you said bag full of beer.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not that drunk, are you?
No.
I could go in and edit and change the words around if you need me to.
You should totally make me sound like a fucking piece of shit. Too late. Whoops.
All right. Well, this has been Waiting to Dry, everyone.
Waiting to Dry.
If you're still listening, fuck off.
You guys need to come do my show again.
Yeah.